been about getting a certification. The conversation has always been about getting knowledge. The conversation has always been about going to school. I remember not too long ago when parents are asked, what do you want your children to be? We all know the answers. Can we chorus the answers? Number 1 is what? Number 2 is what? Kai. All of you are, is there no Gen Z in this place? Where are Gen Zs? Please, Gen Zs, I know you don't know what we are talking about, but we love you still. What's the third one? And the fourth one? Account. We have talked about engineer now. Okay, let's echo it from beginning. Number 1 is what? Number 2 is what? Number 3 is what? Number 4 is what? Number 5 is what? Accountant. But essentially, that's the truth. That's how it happens. Our parents thought that the only way that we could make it in life is if we go to school, we get the theoretical knowledge necessary for us to parade ourselves as professionals. And that worked out for them, actually. So it makes sense that they wanted us to do the same thing that they did. Because, I mean, some of us have parents who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are accountants and engineers. And of course, they wanted us to enjoy the kind of things that they enjoyed. However, they did not know that there was already a shift in how life was going to play out. And the shift is now that people don't care so much about your certification. Now, certification is necessary, is fundamental. In fact, it gives you the platform for you to be able to announce yourself as a professional. But your certification can only do that. What people want to see is what you can do. Somebody say what you can do. Somebody say what you can do. This day, they're not saying what you can do. Hi, thank you. What I can do. This is part of what I can do. I can look beautiful. This is part of what I can do. It's a skill. And talent. So what you can do is what people want to see today. And that's what brings us to the conversation of skill. And the reason why we are having all the speakers, all these facilitators, spending this much money, bringing you here out of your comfort zone, leaving you with, what did we give you yesterday to eat? Rice, Abby? Small meat. Putting you through the pressure of eating rice and small meat. Without minerals. With just water. Small water. The reason why we are doing this is to achieve one thing. To help you understand the value of skill and to help you begin to master how you can implement it in your businesses. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, if you come here for 5 days, 5 solid days, and you know the way Nigeria works, the clothes you wear on Monday, you cannot wear it on Tuesday, right? You change your wardrobe every day to come here. You leave your house and tell your people, oh, you cannot go to work today, you cannot invest in your business today. You are committed to this. And you do not leave here with the necessary fundamental skills for you to begin to grow in the lines that you want to grow. It's a waste of your time and it's the waste of our investment. So what is skill? What? Okay, it's sinking. Yeah. I was used to you people gingering me. So what is skill? Anyone? Any idea? You people don't want to share? What is skill? What does skill mean? Don't give me any dictionary definition, just something that you understand. Okay, ushers, can you pick the microphone from the media department and What is skill? For the last 10 years, the only thing that people have been talking about now is skills. Skills this, skills that, skill development, skill empowerment, skill upgrade, upskill, reskilling, interskilling, multi-skilling, skill nonetheless. Microphone, yes, of course.
Skill is ability to do something perfectly.
The ability to do something perfectly. I like that definition. Thank you so much. Any other definition? Where's the second mic?
Hello.
Let me take from that side too. Just give me one moment. Let me take from that angle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, skill is a virtue that makes you valuable in the marketplace.
It's a virtue that makes you valuable in the marketplace. Thank you. There's somebody at the extreme end there.
I'm here.
I'll get to you. Just 1 minute, sir. She had raised up her hand since.
Morning.
Yes, please.
Skill is the ability to use your knowledge in doing something very well.
To use your knowledge to do something very well. All right, sir.
Okay, I think skill is a technical know-how.
Technical know-how. All right. All of us has given different dimensions of what skill is. And I agree with all of us. But the one thing I want you to understand is that skill is a verb. I know skill is a noun, but it is what? It is what? What is a verb? If people did not go to public schools, a verb is a what? No. A verb is a doing word or all of you that went to private schools. Bottom line is, when you say you have a skill, what it means is that people must see the skill that you have in action. That's what it means. So if you have good communication skill and you come to a place and you're expected to communicate and you're unable to communicate, do you have communication skills? No, you have spiritual communication skills. Rakasatata. Exactly. But you don't have the communication skill that we need in the marketplace. When you say you have creative thinking skills, and there's a problem that you're supposed to solve as an entrepreneur, and you go there, you join them to start complaining, do you have creative thinking skills? But you're complaining now. Is that not something? It's something, right? It's a lie. It's nothing. Which other skill do we have? Which other skill do we have? Suggest the skill. Digital skill. That's a very good skill. You say you have digital skill, but then again, you don't know where they used to on your laptop. Creative skill. Innovative skill. All these are skills. But bottom line is, everything we are going to do here today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the program revolves around you gaining the necessary skill that will present you to the world as fantastic and well-baked entrepreneurs. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if it makes sense, put your hands together for yourself. And to do justice to our very first lecture and training, is somebody that I really admire, somebody that I was following before I met him physically. Yeah. So I saw him online. He was doing amazingly. I'm like, look at this. Look at this sharp, bouncing, looking man. But he's married though. You people should calm down. Yes. Yeah, bouncing, looking, intellectually handsome. Yes, man. And he is going to be speaking on public speaking and effective communication. Ladies and gentlemen, Please join me as I make welcome Dr. Ayobami Olugbenga Wise.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? How are we feeling today? Good. How many of you were here yesterday? All right, so we tend to ask our questions the other way around, just to be sure. How many of you were not here yesterday? Okay, so for those of you who were here yesterday, how many of you put it up on social media that you were here getting value and you wanted to share it? How many of you did that? Okay. I mean, those people who did that, it shows that you actually care about the people within your your circle and your space. All right. For those that didn't do it, I'm not saying you don't care, but it means that you need to care more about those people. So do me a favor. I want you to bring out your phones while I wait for the slides. Bring out your phones and take a selfie with at least one or two people on the table that you are and post it immediately. Yeah. Anyone. Just post it immediately. Use the hashtag #mybusinessandI. Put it there, the Enterprise Skills Development Training Program, and tell them where they should be. Like they are missing it, they're not here. You got value day one, and you should be looking forward to getting value and sharing that energy of value with someone else. So take a picture with someone. In fact, use that as an opportunity to network with someone. I mean, get up from your table immediately, move around, move around, move around, move around. We're going to learn much later the power of networking. Move around, take a selfie, take a selfie. Yeah, post it. Feel free to tag me in it. Please feel free to tag Dio Israel too as well. All right, feel free to tag Dio Israel. Feel free to tag the APC Youth Wing. All right. Network with someone that you haven't seen. Somebody, see, you know, when you tell people to do things like this, they don't know the power of how far it can go. Thank you. Tell them at home. Fantastic. You don't know how far these can go.
Thank you.
Thank you. I went through some pictures of mine many years down the line, and I realized I would have actually showcased these pictures, and I realized that it don't take where we did this business of speaking. Like 20 years. Oh, fantastic. Great. 20 years still speaking. And you are see some of these pictures 5 years from now and be like, wow, it's been a while. We're asking you to do something that will be registered in time. And some of you are joking about it now. Fantastic. Okay. I can't see my face even. All right, good. Fantastic. Great. It's not in the pictures alone. Thank you very much. It's not in the pictures. It's in the posting of the pictures now. All right. Enterprise skills development training. Tag the APC Youth Wing. That's APC Youth NG. Tag Dio Israel. Tag myself is one word. Ayobami Wise. All right. And share it. I was looking through some of my pictures recently, and I saw a picture with someone who today, and I'm going to share some things with you because we're going to learn about networking later. And I saw a picture of myself and someone who today, if I had seen him, well, it's going to give me audience, right? But for me to see him, I need to work extra hard to move into his space now. And these things happen. So what I just asked you to do now is for you to create value ahead of time. Because some of you are going to be great speakers, great businessmen, and then you're just like, wow, I took a picture with him when we had the EDET, you know. Is somebody getting this? Some of you see the president now, and then you see that he had some amazing pictures. It's like, so this picture for many years. If they keep those memories, then they won't be able to share them. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much for obliging. I appreciate it. Let's get straight into it. My name is Ayobami Olugbenga Wise. In some clans, they call me the Purpose Doctor. And that's because everything that has to do with clarity, everything that has to do with strategy, everything that has to do with human capital development is what I am sold out for. And just like Fireflies mentioned, there are a lot of skills that we need to be able to build in our journey to where we need to get to. I was sharing with my colleague before we got in here, and I said, in the Western world, all right, in the Western world, the business owners are the faces of their brands. Does somebody understand? Have you noticed that? When you're talking about Virgin Atlantic, what comes to mind? How do you know Richard Branson? Because you've seen him. You hear him, right? The same thing with Steve Jobs, you know what I mean, of Blessed. Same thing with what? Elon Musk. Now, somebody's going to say, how often does Elon Musk talk? His power of communication, he speaks a lot on his virtual space. If somebody can, they are becoming the brand. In fact, in Africa, we're beginning to see the importance of these, right? Nowadays, you get to hear a lot about Dangote being in the media. Have you noticed? All of a sudden, he's no longer becoming camera shy. He's attending to interviews, he's granting interviews, he's speaking at events, all right? The same thing you can probably say of what? I was just going to say that your head did there. Tour is always everywhere. Why? Back in the days, the African man thinks that, oh, you have a business, I sit at the back, you know, I'm the big man, and then people do the talking. We are in the generation where we need to realize that we are the brand. We are the face of our business. And because you are the face of your business, it means that you have to have that skill, the soft skill, the critical skill of being able to speak. You will be called up for interviews. You'll be asked to give keynote speeches. I mean, your business is doing well. I was at a particular event in Abuja some days back, and the chairman of Air Peace, even though his MD was there, was also there to speak, and he spoke for about 15 minutes. They are beginning to realize the importance of it. Is somebody understanding that? So as business owners, prospective to be, you need to understand that it is a non-negotiable what? Factor. The ability to speak. Sometime last year, someone approached my space and said, I have a friend, he's into the the real estate business, and he's doing well, but he realized that he has gotten to a space where he needs to be out there often, and he was not confident enough about being on the microphone. He's doing well. He has so much money. And then he called and said, please, I need you to see how you can do in terms of coaching him and all of that. I said, no problem. We can work around that. He had his first session. He got too busy. Why am I saying this? Because I know he will come back. Because there was a realization that came and hit him when he knew that it's time to be able to use this mouth well. Every business has a story, and nobody tells your story better than yourself. Does somebody understand that? Every business what? Has a story. And nobody tells that story better and will ever tell that story better than you do it. In fact, the rule of thumb in branding is says that always be the one to tell your story. Don't let anybody tell your story for you. Let them complement your stories. But let the origin of every story of the business that you intend to start, of the person that you are and intend to be, let it come from your own mouth. What is your story? So today I'm going to be speaking about public speaking and effective communication. Next slide. All right. And we're going to be sharing some thoughts. Yes. Stay here. There was a blind man that was working, or rather, that was sitting by the roadside. And he had this inscription: I am blind, please help me. The inscription was there, and people walked by, dropping their support. Take this, take this, take this. But it was in trickles. It didn't make sense. He wasn't feeling it. He knew that this could be more. A certain woman walked by, saw the inscription, and she flipped the cardboard and wrote on the other side of the cardboard something else. And she put it down. So the man felt her legs and like, okay, who is this person? And then she left. All of a sudden, people started to give more, do more, show more love. What has happened? What really happened? She had changed the inscription to something. And then the man, when she came back, recognized by touching her feet again and said, what did you do to my saying? And then she said, I wrote the same thing. And instead of, I am blind, please help me, she said what? It's a beautiful day, and what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How many of you just developed some kind of goosebumps just now? Did it hit you? Same thing, different words. I am blind, please help me. It's a beautiful day and I can't see it. What does that say? The very first one was saying, I am blind. I need your help. The second one is saying, yes, I am still blind, but you may not appreciate what you have until you lose it. The power of communication is perception. The power of communication, it's not about what you're saying, it's about how you're saying what you're saying. What exactly do you want to say? Are there better ways in which you can say it? To be able to what? Generate what? The support, the reaction that you want. Next slide. And this is what the purpose of communication is all about. A lot of us end here and we think communication is all about giving information. On your social media, you're giving information. On your website, you're giving information. To your clients, your brochures, you're thinking of giving out information. But the power of communication goes beyond what? Giving out what? Information. It goes into a space where you need to begin to learn how to trigger people's thoughts. You need to mess up with people's minds if you want to gain the reaction that you want. Trigger a thought. It's a beautiful day and I can't see it. Wow. That was going to get everybody thinking, right? Like, how come he knows that it's a beautiful day? Can he see it really, but he can't? Or is he lying to us? The moment you get people engaged, then you've what? Won their attention. The moment you win their attention, then you can begin to what? Influence them. That's the power of communication. The first thing I did here, I said, everybody move around, take pictures, post it. What did I do? I got you thinking. I got you thinking. So you must learn how to trigger a thought. But it's not okay to trigger a thought. When you trigger the right thoughts, it evokes the right what? Emotions. Because the way human beings are built is that before we act, we feel. Listen, guys, what did I say? I can't hear you. Before we act, we what? We feel. Before we feel, we what? We think. Before we act, we feel. Before we feel, we what? We think. So if you want to get people acting in certain ways, you need to be able to get them to feel in certain ways. You need to find ways to evoke the right emotions. If you get people doing what you don't want them to do, it means you're evoking the wrong emotions. And it means you trigger the wrong thoughts in them. When you post anything online, when you develop your website, when you're speaking to people, you can't just be, you need to evoke emotions. Because it is when you evoke emotions that it leads to what? Desired what? Actions. When it leads to desired actions, these will meet your defined what? Expectation. I had an expectation before picking up the microphone and being here. I'm only roughly 10 minutes into my speech, but I can feel that my expectation is being met already. Why? Because I have been able to cause you guys to carry out some actions of staying focused and glued on me. I've evoked some emotions as a result that led to it. And those emotions came about me getting you thinking because of the kind of information I brought your way. Do we get it now? Do we understand the process? Next slide. Next slide. Please, the media help me. Yeah. So now, the reason why it is so important for us to go through this process is because we need to understand what makes up communication in the first place. We were told, and get it straight, the African man was told that you need to do a lot of talking to communicate. It doesn't work that way. You see, verbal communication, spoken words, just amounts for 7% of the scale of complete communication. It's the smallest of them. All right? Albert Morabian says that your tone, your voice, that's the paraverbal messages that you what? Give out, is stronger than what you're saying. And then it says that your body language is even much more stronger. Because there's a whole lot that you are saying that you're not saying. By the time I'm done here today, and I drop the microphone here, the honest truth is that a lot of you will not remember all that I said. True or true? You will not remember a lot of things that I've done. True or true? But there's something that you will never forget. The way I am making you feel right now. That's the power of communication. Back in the days, you wonder exactly how some people would open up their mouth and speak. And people, see, we've seen some things, right, online, and we say, are some people daft? Why would they be following these kind of things? It's the power of communication. you become subdued under a thought process that you are at level with. You can only rise above a thought process that you are higher than. So there's a thought process that you are higher than, that if anything is presented to you, because you are higher than it, it can't control you. Is somebody getting it? But there's a thought process in terms of the level that you're in, that if another thought process comes that what? Subdues that, you will be wondering why you are what? Disposed to it with ease. How is somebody, that thing that you're saying, how is somebody saying, it's normal now? Power of communication. Next slide. So, look at these three sentences. The first one says, I didn't say you were stupid. It said again, I didn't say you were stupid. And the other one says, I didn't say you were stupid. Can somebody tell me what each of those sentences implies, what it means? Microphone, please. Can you interpret each of those and tell me what you think it's saying? Yes, there's a hand there.
Good morning. My name is Akinlabi Hassan. So the first one is saying that the person didn't alter that the other person is stupid. That means the action of saying it didn't happen. So that's why it emphasized on the action of say.
Yeah.
So the second one is saying,
no. Just do one.
Right.
Don't collect all the mark. We have another hand here. I want a lady, so for balance. Yes. And then we have one more hand there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I didn't say you were stupid. Means somebody is stupid.
Somebody don't collect.
But not necessarily you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, if you stay there and want to collect it, you can collect it.
Thank you.
You know, you don't know whether it's your stupid or my stupid, but somebody is stupid here. But I didn't say it was you, but if you feel you want to collect this title, it's up to you. Right? So what's the third one?
The third one is the emphasis on stupid. It means nobody is stupid.
Nobody is stupid in the first place. I didn't say you were stupid. So stupid was not even, yeah. Do we get it now? Three, now imagine if, and that's what I should have done, shown you this slide, that emphasis on those words. You're thinking while repeating the sentences. Right? However, with the emphasis on those words, it gives it meaning. What exactly are you putting emphasis on? And emphases are not only in words, can also be in what? Actions. Next slide. So the 7 C's of communication, very quickly, all right, says that every time it's paramount and imperative for us to be clear. The message you're putting out there has to be what? Clear. Super clear. We need help with this table very quickly, please. The message has to be what? Clear. What exactly are you trying to say? What exactly do you imply? Or are you trying to imply? A lot of times, and it's the way we're brought up in Africa, sadly, we have a whole lot of work to do with our communication. You know that, right? We say a lot of things that we are not saying, and we are not saying a lot of things that we are saying. I mean, somebody's saying, I'm going to say, you're going, Abi. It's part of what we're talking about. And when we're speaking with the younger ones, we use our tone to ask questions. You're hungry, Abi. It's the Abi at the end that makes it a question. You are hungry, Abi. You're hungry. You want to sleep. You know, so we need to learn how to communicate clearly. What exactly are you saying? See, before I post, and it's still a lot of work, it's still working, you know, in process. Be careful about what goes out there. your posts, your write-ups, your blogs. For some of you are going to be into blogging, articles. Be careful what goes on there. In fact, I have what I call the third eye in terms of what I put out there. I try. Sometimes the time would probably not permit. Get somebody else to read what you're about to put out there. Let somebody vet it. Be clear on what you're saying. The next is what? Correct. Factual. Are you giving accurate information? If you're not sure, let us know. And if you're not sure, what are you going to be saying? What are the choice of words you'll be using? In my what? Opinion. I just think, right? So that nobody is going to take that in context and said, you said. That was my thought. Based on my experience, is somebody getting it? We need to learn how to say things the way they should be. Take your words seriously. Your words represent you when and where you're not there. Your words serve as your ambassador. They go to places that you have not even been to. Some of you are going to write books, right? Some of you have written books. Be careful. It's all about the consciousness of it. Complete, in a sense that don't give in parts and leave in parts. If you're doing things serially, let them know that there's still more. I still have more to share on this. And if that is all that you know as regards that, state it ahead of time. That based on this, this is what I feel. As I get more on this, I will shed more light. I mean, be very deliberate. Be intentional. Concrete. Concrete talks about how solid it is, how sound it is, how palpable it is. All right? Concise. You're not saying too many things. Some of you play with too many words that are not necessary. You need to learn. Consider just talks about the empathy aspect of what? Speaking. Nowadays, we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. There are more coming up now. You need to have those kind of considerations when you write, when you speak, when you put materials out there. And then, of course, courteous. Courteous is just talking about your character, your manner. See, no matter how much you hate or dislike a certain thing you're writing about, there's a way and manner it needs to go out. Do you get it? If you're speaking against somebody else's opinion, there's a way to be courteous about it. I don't necessarily have to like everything in life. However, when relating with it, it's in my place to be professional enough to apply courtesy. So courtesy says, for example, that you're working with your team, you're upset with one or two people, does not mean that you walk past them without greeting them. Does not change anything from you. Good morning, it's good morning. It's just courtesy. All right? Next slide, please. So we're going to move into the art of public speaking itself, having established effective communication. I love this particular quote by Winston Churchill, and it's one of the quotes that I started my public speaking career on and with. It sounds such a very naughty quote, though, but it sends the message. All right? It says a good speech should be like a woman's skirt, and this is no disrespect. And that's me applying courtesy here, right? Do you understand it now? All right? A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to what? Cover the subject, and then what? Short enough to what? Create what? Interest. So whether you're going to be informing, influencing, educating, persuading, entertaining, whatever it is, you need to understand that you create interest. Why? Because you need to arouse thoughts. You need to trigger thoughts. You need to evoke emotions. You need to make it lead to an action so that it can meet a desired what? Expectation. Next slide. So, what kind of speaker am I? For some of you, you need to understand the kind of person that you are. I'm a life smart person. So the kind of personality you are tells the kind of speaker that you'll be. I was sharing with my colleague, I said, this particular slide, the content of this particular slide jumped at me in the bathroom this morning. Because of my kind of person. And I'll explain some things to you. For some of you, you are a dominant of, one of these is dominant for you, some is a combination. As you grow in your speaking career, you become a combination of all four because you know exactly how to apply. There are pluses and minuses to each of the kind of speakers that you are. So, the first one is what we call a combustible speaker. What comes to mind when you say combustible? Energy, yeah. What else? Firebrand, what else? Fearless, exactly. What else? There's something I want. Disruptive, I love it. What else? Driving, noise, well, that can aid the spread of fire. Turbulence, whatever it is, disruptive, yes. I like it. I like the choice of words, but it allows you to understand the kind of person that you are. And as I'm saying it, you'll probably come in contact with some speakers that are highly combustible, right? They give it to you just the way it is. They bring the energy. They want to impact you in a very strong way. They leave a lasting impression. Fire never burns in a place without you knowing that fire has been there. So what kind of speaker are you? And it stems from the kind of personality that you are. Most of the time, the combustible speaker is such that is a high explosive kind of agent. Very what? Volatile. The kind of speaker that he is or she is, being combustible, is that they are direct. When they drop their message, it's quite what? Direct. Now, there's a place for balance in all of this, and that's where emotional intelligence comes into play. Because as speakers, we need to learn where we need to what? Maintain the balance across board. But first, know who you are. Because in knowing who you are as a speaker, it helps you to know how to what? Maximize your strengths and what? Work on your what? Growth areas. I don't believe in weaknesses. I don't believe in weaknesses. I believe people have growth areas. So are you the combustible type? They're very what? Direct, brief. In fact, when they're preparing their slides, they don't have too much on their slides. I know, see, I didn't want to go to direct, but they don't have too much. No. And if they have so much on their slides and they're told someone to prepare their slides, half of what is on that slide, they're not using it. Yeah. Combustible. Disruptive. They like to change the narrative of things. They don't like, it's too cool in here. No. Know the kind of speaker you are. There's a place for it. They bring the energy, the A game on. Now, we also have the crafty speaker. The crafty speaker is the expressive kind of speaker. The crafty speaker is the one that likes to play around with what? Images, pictures, words. Very crafty. When you hear them speak, you stay glued with them. Is somebody getting it? Their choice of words, they pay attention to the look of their slides. They pay attention to even their own appearance. They pay attention to a whole lot because it's all about the work of art for them. Craftiness. So you need to understand the kind of person you are. Sometimes you feel it's always all about them because that's where their strength is. They love the attention when they're speaking, they want to be sure that you're paying attention, like you're with me. It's not necessarily about what is being said, but like, am I carrying you along? They're like daydreamers. They can take you farther than you can imagine. So know yourself. In fact, when you want to know a very crafty speaker, most of the time, they dwell a lot on their introductions. They dwell a lot on their bio. They are big on selling themselves. In every slide, selling themselves. It's who they are. It's strength. However, like I tell people, a strength can become a growth area when you don't have the right character. Are we getting it? And a growth area can become a thing of strength with good character. So some of them, you might see that it's like it's coming off as being like they're showing off. Then we have what we call the calm speaker. A calm speaker is just all about orderliness, decorum. While the combustible person is probably not bothered about you lifting up your chair and shouting, the calm speaker is just like, no, calm down. Like, can we just have some peace here? If there's too much movement, a calm speaker cannot concentrate. The calm speaker needs orderliness, the organization. The calm speaker walks in here, and it's particular about seat arrangement. Do we understand it? They want to be sure that you are getting the value. A calm speaker is so big on feedback. They're constantly asking in between the slides and everything, and I just want to be sure, are you getting it? Are you sure? Do you want me to go over it again? Because they care. They naturally care. They are the ones that apply the place of empathy a whole lot. That's why I say some will have more than the others, but we need to develop ourselves so that we create the balance. And then, what do you see there? The cultivator, what comes to mind? Let me see. Yes, this. The microphone. Or just say, just. Has the confidence to speak and inspire people. I'm going to pick some words there. As a cultivator, I like the word teach. A cultivator takes time. A cultivator is a natural teacher. A cultivator, tell them they have 15 minutes to speak. They can create 100 slides. They will create slides for every, like they want you to get it. They nurture. You know just the way a gardener does, nurture, prunes, trims. A cultivator never gets satisfied with their presentation. I'm a combination of all of this in some capacity. And I asked myself, I was joking with him. I said, my wife got to, my wife is doing so well. It gets to a point where she just says, drop the laptop, drop it. Drop the laptop. The one that you have there, they will get it. But in my mind, I'm like, no, they need to get it more. I'm a cultivator. Sorry? I'm 3 in 1. You're getting all of it. That's because you keep growing. You need to grow to create the balance, like I said. But I know the one that is dominant in me. In your balancing of all 4, there is the one that you're dominant, that is dominant with you. So a cultivator prunes. It's almost like a perfectionist, wants to ensure that you're getting everything right. Next slide. So you need to understand the kind of speaker that you are. And then work towards balancing it. So in all the speaking, you need to understand that speaking begins with what? Begins with what? I can hear you. It begins with listening. The best of the best speakers are the ones who have cultivated the act of what? Effective listening. Active what? Listening. Do we understand it? Listening is not only using your ears, listening is also using your heart. It's in observation, your mind. Paying attention. That's listening. You listen for the voice that is not being said, the mood in the room. You pay attention to the minds of the people. You pay attention to the possible what? Culture in the room. The target audience. Who are they? Where are they coming from? That's paying attention. That's listening. That's listening. I love it when one of my daughters say to me, "Daddy, are you listening?" Like it draws my attention. Like, yes, like pay attention. Because listening talks about being in the what? Moment. A lot of you have conversations and you're not in the moment. You can't get the most out of it. Be in the moment. Pay attention. Listen. In fact, one of the words of wisdom that is as wise as or old as the hills says that you listen twice as much as you what? You speak. Listen twice as much as you speak. All right? Because when you listen, you learn more. People who listen learn more. You're not too confident in what you're about to deliver. You pay attention. You learn more. It helps you to understand that you can connect with people better. It increases your value as perceived as being intelligent, and it makes you a great speaker. Your ability to pay attention, to listen. You listen now, even for your next possible what? Speaking what? Engagement. I listen a whole lot. I'm paying attention a whole lot. Next slide, please. So, what are the 5 stages of listening in terms of the process of listening? How do I want to ensure that I'm listening? First is that you hear. What am I hearing? Because that is just it, surface level. What am I what? Hearing. And then in my hearing, there's a place where I now begin to what? Pay attention to what? Understanding what is being said. The choice of wanting to what? Understand. Like, what exactly is being communicated here? Can I comprehend it? And then what? Trying to recollect it. That's listening. And then evaluating, processing it. And then what? Responding to it. How many of you remembered exactly what PK said yesterday about what education is? I want to see if anybody really listened. Does anybody remember what he said about the definition of education? Anybody? Somebody bail us out? Okay, even if you have to read it, feel free. If you wrote it down. Because it talks about, oh, yes, please.
Okay, he said, I'll just paraphrase it.
Yeah.
He said education is about traveling wide, going around to other places to learn culture.
Experiencing the world.
And
yeah.
more importantly, as much as you're going to acquire skills, ensure that your skill will be profitable to the community to which you are going to serve.
All right, so that's paraphrasing right now. And it's actually some steps there. So experiencing the world, yes, please.
Right, good morning. So we also talk about after experiencing the world that you also be able to question what you have experienced.
Before you go on, the people who ask the right questions are the people who are listening attentively. If you're not paying attention to your world, you're not sure of the quality of the questions that you'll be asking. And guess what? It's in the quality of the questions that you ask that you're able to provide or prefer what? Solutions to your world. The phone, the laptops, the technology that you celebrate today was once first what? A question. But a question that was born out of what? An observation of someone that was paying attention and listening. So experience your world, ask what questions, and then?
Then after asking question, then have the ability to gather enough skill in order to improve on the question.
So there's still one more before gathering skills. Because when you ask questions, there's something that it does to you before you gather skills. Aha! Who said it? Yes, sir. It says what? The questions avails you the opportunity that provides you what? Options. And in the options, you're able to select the most. What's the word? The valuable one. Supreme. That allows you to what? Apply it to the world or the community that you're in. That is exactly what education is. That is exactly what you need to do to yourself as a speaker. I mean, and it emanates exactly. He exudes it when he speaks, doesn't he? Because the kind of content you dish out will no longer become ordinary because you are paying attention. Next slide, please. So, what's your job as a speaker? Your job as a speaker is to diffuse what? Assumptions. If people who listen to you leave the space still feeling confused, then your job is not done. So far, can I ask and do a quick evaluation? Have I done justice so far? How many of you have gotten value so far? Thank you very much. So that's it. Speaking starts or begins with you what? Taking out all necessary what? Assumptions. But how do we take and knock off assumptions? Next slide. Knocking off assumptions is you understanding what we call what? Audience what? Analysis. So as a speaker, who are you called to? For every event or occasion, what are you called to? You've been called for an interview, called on a panel discussion, called to give a keynote speech, called for anything at all. What's the audience like? And your audience analysis is where you begin to acknowledge a lot of things. What kind of occasion is this? What is calling for my attention? In what occasion is calling for my attention? And then, of course, the place of diversity, equity, inclusion, audience needs, because your audience are born with a what? They have a dominant need. There's something that is driving them at that stage. If you don't deal with that need, you're going to be speaking over their heads, or you're going to lose them completely. Then, of course, sensitivity and controversies you need to do. These are the reasons why we do audience analysis. You don't just pick up a mic. You have to be sure of what you're saying. There are some examples that you cannot say in some kind of settings, right? Because the example sounds so sweet, but you think that you must say it by all means, I must use it. It's a point. And then the people that you're sharing it with, it's too sensitive a matter to them. It's useless. It can even get you into more trouble. So you need to be what? Mindful of the sensitivity of the environment and the controversies of things. Although sometimes, most times, like they say, controversy sells, right? But it is very calculative. And then, of course, offense, resentment, and all of this. These are the things you need to pay attention to. So, types of audience analysis. For some of you, you already know them. You need to understand the demography. I ask a lot of questions before I speak. And that's in an aspect of what? Listening. Ask a lot of questions. Who am I speaking to? How many of them? What's their profile like? Their class? It's audience what? Analysis. What's their experience like? That's when you're going into the psychographical, nature of things. because you want to know their age, you want to know their gender, the population gender. I mean, one of the speakers said it here. I'm surprised. Yesterday, and even maybe up to today, we're having a lot of male folks than the female folks. I'm surprised. I don't know if it's the same today. Or is a balance? We have more. Surprisingly, in events like these, women dominate it. So to see that we have more men here is a plus. Like, I'm happy that we're beginning to have men that begin to wake up to some realization and responsibilities. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So, understand it, the kind of work they do, their religion, their race. All right? It's so important to know all these things so that you know exactly the kind of content. See, when you have this proper analysis done, you need to go and find the content that best fits. You look for examples that applies to them. Scenarios that they will resonate with and relate to, right? Because it means that you're speaking their language. In fact, it also probably speaks to what? You understanding their legal, like what language do they speak? It's not about language like English, no. There is a particular lingua that they understand. Imagine if you are being called to address a group of engineers. You know they like technical terms, right? So if you're not doing a lot of technical terms in your presentation, trust me, you're going to lose them. Why? Because it's one of the ways they're going to evaluate your credibility. Is somebody getting it? If you're going to be speaking to a bunch of maybe entertainers, for example, they want to see that you're applying a lot of scenarios of things that are happening. Like, did you see what happened in the blog yesterday? Or something that somebody dropped on Twitter, on X yesterday. Do you understand it? That way you can connect and relate. So audience analysis is so important. You don't just pick up the mic. Know who you're speaking to. Understand their knowledge base, their level. And then, of course, there's what we call situation analysis. There are some speakers that were here yesterday, even though they were going to be speaking today. They wanted to understand, do some situation analysis. Some joined online just to understand, okay, let me know to expect. Let me know how to address situation analysis. What's the hall like? Oh, does it have a stage? Am I able to move around? And things like that. Situation analysis. These are the things that adds to the delivery of your speech. Okay? Next slide, please. Now I'm going to actually talk, and this is where I probably wrap things up here, about the psychology. Next slide. The psychology of speaking. What do I call it, guys? Again? The psychology of speaking. Because in all honesty, everything I'm sharing about public speaking here is like a 4-week course. Trying to do it in about 45 minutes or an hour, it's a whole lot. Right? But just get the value that you can. Know where your growth areas are and then begin to work on it. Okay? So psychology of speaking is, in fact, everything science. We've been talking about the arts, and we're going to talk about the arts too as well, but there's a science of speaking. The science of speaking is what appeals and how it influences what? The audience. The first one is what we call ethos. All right? It talks about credibility. People want to know, who are you? What do you do? And should they really care? They will size you up. How many of you did that to me when I picked up the mic? How many of you sized me up? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Wait till this guy won't talk now. Wait till he won't say. Wait till he won't yarn. Is there anything he wants to say that I don't even know? Right. And the funniest thing is that a lot of things I'm saying here, a lot of you probably already know it, but it's even in the way and the manner in which I'm saying it that hits differently. So, ethos talks about credibility. You need to learn how to build your credibility. Pathos is about emotions, logic. Logos is all about logic. Next slide, because I each of them and dwell on it. Ethos talks about the speaker. Ethos focuses on you, the speaker. How do I improve my credibility? If you want to improve your credibility as a speaker, you must learn how to what? Sell yourself. Somebody say, sell yourself. Somebody tell somebody on your table, sell yourself. You need to learn how to sell yourself. You see, one of the soft skills, hoping that, in subsequent programs and trainings like this that must be added, and I'm sure it's somewhere there, is the ability to sell. Sell anything. I tell people that when you know how to sell, you'll never go hungry. Is the best critical skill that anyone can learn. Selling. Sadly, it's what a lot of people run away from. It's too much work. People who sell never go hungry. People who learn how to sell themselves elevate themselves. Sell yourself. Wait. Let me just apply some leaves. How many of you really tagged me in your posts on social media when you posted? How many of you? Did you do it? Some of you just did. Some of you just chose not to do it. Shy. You are just wicked people. But some of you that did it, let me see your hands up again. You tagged me, right? You posted it and all of that. What do you think I did? And you also what? Can you see it? Selling is going on in one form or the other. One of the speakers said it yesterday. He said it's what we call brand association. That's why I said don't joke with the pictures you took here. Someone say, yeah, so you sold yourself. Let me go and do it. Now you know. Because it's all about what? Perspective. I said I sold myself. No, he said he also what? Sold himself. Perspective. Sell yourself. That's how you build credibility. Somebody will say, oh, I saw you with that person. Oh, okay, because it's brand association. If I can see you standing with this person, sitting with this person, shaking hands with this person, there must be something about you. Even though we can't see it or we've not heard it yet. Right? Absolutely. Then identify your positive effect. Your positive effect talks about the kind of speaker that you are. When I mentioned, are you the combustible person? What's your positive effect? Are you the calmer? Are you the cultivator? Are you the crafty? What's your what? Positive what? Effect. Identify it. Because you're going to dwell on it. And then develop what? Your deep expertise in things. See, one of the things I did for myself as a speaker, because we call ourselves, I'm a speaker. I'm a trained speaker. I'm a certified speaker. There's hardly anything I can't speak about. Coming from the kind of person that I am as a life smart person, I'm a born teacher, right? However, nonetheless, it tells you that in your ability to build capacity, you are enhancing your brand as a speaker. So even if you're going to be a specialist, to specialize in an area and say, all I want to speak about is real estate. All I want to speak about is logistics. All I want to speak about is beauty and care. Whatever it is, the business that you want to get into, please build expertise, knowledge in that area. Always be hungry to learn. There's something new that you never knew about. Go find out and add it to your archive. You owe yourself that bit of responsibility to develop capacity for growth. Because a question can be thrown at you at an interview panel, right? And then you can't say you don't know, even if there might be a smart way that you will dodge the question. But I mean, it's on you, man. It's on you. How do you take that deliberate action that I want to add something new to my area of expertise today. Go online. What don't I know about beauty and care? What don't I know about logistics? What don't I know about events planning? What don't I know about speaking? What don't I know? Ask questions. Thank God for what? AI now, right? How many of you are engaging it? This is how you build credibility. Ask questions. Engage it. Just put it up on that phone and just be asking questions. Tell me something new today. ChatGPT. Tell me something new today about speaking. If it tells you something and you know it, you tell him or her, whoever he is, or she, them, whatever, and say, I already know this. Oh, you do? Okay, maybe you do not know. It would engage you. How many of you have used it before? How many of you use it? You're surrounded with a wealth of knowledge and you're not using it. You build credibility. Know something new. Analyze your audience. Be consistent with your message and be accessible. Always show up. Some of you calling it showing off. No, we call it showing up. What did I say? Some of you call it what? Showing off. Sorry, we call it what? Showing what? Up. It's our office. I have to sell market. It's my office. Where's your social proof? Where's your social proof? And you think nobody's watching? Somebody's watching. Somebody's what? Watching. Some of you are too comfortable within your space. And sometimes this speaks to the calm speakers. Or some of you have elements. Calm speakers don't go out of their way. It's what they know. They can deal with what they know and speak on it for years. Sir, can you add something new? Yeah. Next slide. The other is what? Pathos. Pathos is emotions. Every speaker must learn how to connect with people emotionally. See, and I'm going to tell you this now. I don't care how intelligent, smart. I don't care how, whatever the product, services your business might render and all of that. Guess what? People don't buy products because they're good. People buy the products because of the brand representation of that product. Hear this and hear this well. Do you know how many good products exist out there? Abi? The brand representation of that product is why people use it. So, you need to learn how to what? Develop connection, build connection with people. We learned it yesterday. Emotional what? Bank account. Emotional what? Bank account. So learn, build connections. We're going to be learning about networking much later. It's so important. A friend of mine, one or two people here may know, would always say that it's not a curse, but it depends on how you see it. It's not a curse. It says that your life will not amount to the fullness of what it was designed to be, except if you're surrounded with the right people. Your life, your business cannot what? Amount to the fullness of what it was designed to achieve, except if you are surrounded with the right people. No matter the potential, That's why I said your skills, your assets, no matter. There is this far that what your skills as a speaker will take you. You know what will take off from there? Social intelligence, emotional connectivity. Yeah. Some of you are not where you should be now simply because you learn how to build emotional connectivity. In fact, as a speaker, for every speaking engagement, emotional connectivity sets the ball rolling for you. I did that already. Connected with you, right? Absolutely. So you have a story, use it. Okay? So in building connection with people, there are some powers that you need to deploy. I call it the power of what? Authenticity. People need to know that you're authentic. That there's nothing like you're just being you. All right? The power of attitude. What kind of disposition do you have? The power of appearance, the power of attention, power of communication, power of delivery, the power of control, and the power of empathy. That's consideration too as well. Next slide. Then, of course, we talk about the third one in the science or the psychology of speaking is what? Logos. The message itself. How are you able to persuade people? The simplicity at which you do it. The clarity at which you do it. The compassion and comparison at which you do it. How real you make it look. The sequence of flow. How do you engage? And of course, the place of empathy. So these are the things, because when you're talking about logos, people want to, are you an expert in this? Right? Can you help me? And if I can perceive that you can help me, then I will connect with you. Next slide. Every speaker would always develop what we call stage frights. Even to the best of the best speakers. I've been speaking for over 2 decades. And for every time I'm being called, the moment Fireflies called me on the microphone, there was a butterfly that just leapt somehow. It's normal. It's what? Normal. Everybody has it in some kind of what? Measure. Forget all the old paparazzi statistics like they just showed up. Everybody has a way in which they deal with it. Sometimes you see some speakers immediately when they are called and you just see them what? Jogging straight to the place. Bouncing and all that. Oh, dear, nothing happen. Nothing happened. You know now. No more. For some, you see, they'll get into a space and they'll just keep telling you, no, just keep clapping, just keep clapping. They're catching their breath. Just keep clapping. I didn't ask you to clap, so if you're going to clap, please clap properly. And as you're clapping, and while they're there, they just keep looking around and all of that. And they're applying the place of what? The power of what? Silence. The power of what? Thank you. The power of silence. Oh. The power of silence talks about you understanding that you need to learn how to buy time. You see, our nerves always race. It's normal. And the blood that flows through our nerves, sometimes they'll misbehave. They'll just keep racing too as well. So what you need to do and learn is to find a way to calm those nerves down. Everybody has their own strategy. Some people, it's all about breathing exercise. For example, just before you're called, you can practice what we call the breathing exercise. Hold your breath, count to 10, count down to 10 again, release the air, do it like 2 or 3 times. You've calmed down your nerves. And it will be better compared to if your nerves are racing. For some people, like I said, it's jogging up and just telling themselves, yes, let's do this. Speaking to themselves, let's do this. For some people, it's just staying in that place of silence for a few minutes and not saying anything. They're just around the room. They're doing like this. They're doing like this. I say something. But you get the point, right? So you need to understand that in dealing with stage fright, practice breath exercise, prepare well. You're only as good as your what? Your last what? Preparation. Practice and prepare well. There's something I call the mirror exercise. It's what I've used for many years, and it's something you can use too as well. Talk to the mirror a whole lot of times. Stand in front of your mirror and talk about anything. Whatever you're talking about doesn't need to what? Make sense. In fact, another thing is what we call sports talking. What do I call sports talking? Take anything, like your bag, and talk about it. And make sure you talk about it and tell yourself, I want to talk about this between 3 to 5 minutes. Time yourself. Don't bother about what you are saying, whether it's making sense or not. What you're doing is what? You are dealing with the ability to be able to talk on the what? Spot. Spot talking. My wristwatch. Wow, silver. Covered in black. I love silver, you know. Just talk. Practice it. Mirror. Stand there. Practice it. Build allies. If you get into any speaking engagement early enough, meet people and build friends. We call them what? Allies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relate with them before your event starts. That's why some speakers get to events early. And when you meet with them and you build relationship with them, those become your allies all through while you're speaking. Because those are the faces that you want to recognize and want them to recognize you, that you keep looking at all through the event. So you're wondering why we're looking at some people more. It's because I met her. In fact, you can use them during your speech as examples. I've met Dupe and I say, oh, Dupe, you understand what I mean, Dupe? And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, okay, really? It helps. Ally building. And then, of course, start well. Organize and be simple with your thoughts. Stay focused. Sometimes, don't focus on, am I doing well? No, just deliver the message. All right? And then operate on the power of silence. Like, let silence work for you a whole lot. I'm going to wrap up there. And I'll just tell us to be ready. Every time before even a speaking engagement comes, don't wait for you to be given that, I'll just come and speak at. Be ready. All right? Understand the purpose of why you'll be speaking anywhere you'll be speaking. All right? Deal with expectations. Do your research very well. Design your process. Rehearse often. Apply the rule of familiarity like I just mentioned. Visualize. Because before I came here to speak, I'd visualize everything here. All right? And then, of course, respect time. I'm sorry I didn't. I just told time up. If I'd gotten 5 or 10 minutes before, I probably would have respected that. Apologies. And then prepare for the unexpected. Anything can happen. Yesterday, the mic went off on the speaker twice, and he dealt with it well, right? Just deal with it, right? The unexpected can happen, and then enjoy the moment. I want everybody to be on their feet. Last slide, please. Everybody on their feet. Last slide, please. Last slide. No, yes. All right. I want us to say after me right now. Are you ready? Are you ready? I am completely in control of the words I speak. I am genuinely interested in others. I am genuinely interested in what other people have to say. I am sincere in my communication with others. I am at ease when speaking to an audience. I am confident in my ability to deliver an inspiring speech. And it pays to be wise. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Lagos, can we do better than that? There's no need to rehash all that he has said because ultimately communication is the master key. Do you believe? All right. So because communication is the master key, and one part of communication that is essential is active listening, correct? Okay. So we're going to do an exercise together. I implore you to all stand up. Those of you in the middle, in this first row, you're going to help me. We want to create a middle table here for some of our esteemed guests that will be joining us shortly. So can I implore you to just move your table just 2 steps to the right and 2 steps to the left so that we can create room in this middle. Middle is right here. Kindly move. Thank you. All right. Mr. Toby, I think we have space enough to take one more table. Fantastic. All right. So back to our activity for the day. Active listening. So I want you to pair yourselves into 2. The first person, please remain standing. Thank you. The first person is A, the second person is B. Make sure you have A and B, everyone. Make sure you have a partner. Who are the A's? The A's, can I see your hand up? A's, all the A's. Some people are not A or B. Who are A's? All right, can I see the B's? B's, raise up your hand. Fantastic. All right, so this is our exercise. A, you are going to introduce yourselves to B. All right? Wait now. Be coming down. You're going to introduce yourselves to B. But this is the twist. In your introduction, everything you're going to say, you are going to spell it. Aha. So when you're saying, my name is Njwara, I'm going to say INAMEISNJUARA. And B is supposed to make sense of what you're saying. Are you ready? Are you ready? A's, are you ready? All right, your time starts now. Let's go. Some people are going to be speaking in tongues now. M-U-E-T-I-W. All right. Okay. It is okay. Bees, did you make sense of anything they said? Some people. So it's ensure that you're actually listening. Because when you are listening, as he's spelling, you'll be making sense of it in your mind. All right, let's switch now. B is your turn. B, introduce yourself to A. But this time you're spelling it. So me now say PLEASEFOLLOWTHETALKOFFISE. All right. Ace, did you hear what B said? So B's have won. Put your hands together for yourself. Please take your seat. So we're going on to the very next training. And we started this conversation yesterday. This was the last speaker for yesterday. And she's coming up today to do justice to the conversation. I have a lot of favorite people now. And it is my esteemed honor and pleasure to make welcome this wonderful woman. She's passionate about what she speaks about. And she is such a game changer in her field. Please, let's celebrate Mrs. Olufunke Ige.
Thank you so much, Fireflies. I like that name a lot. Hello, everyone. How are you today? After listening to Dr. Weiss, I said, okay, I'm doing public speaking and all the T's and the I's. Am I sure I crossed everything and all? And it's such robust curriculum that you have for do not miss out on any of this at the time it's for you. It's an investment for life, and I do. This is why a lot of people pay thousands of naira to attend, even in dollars and all of that. So it's such a great time to be here and to be doing this, and I appreciate the event, the person who had actually put this together, and the party doing this, wanting to improve the skills of every Nigerian young person. It's such honor and privilege. Okay, so for those that were here yesterday, I gave you an assignment. I gave you an assignment. If you got home and you sat down to do the assignment, please let me just see your hand. Beautiful. Wow, I'm proud of you. Thank you. Please raise your hand confidently, because this, honestly, I'm so encouraged. I gave you an assignment and you did it. You didn't think about it in your mind. I said, write the story of your what? Of your life. Honestly, if you took time out to do that, that means you're ready for this. You're ready for change, truly. That means you're ready to embrace every knowledge that will be impacted into you. That means you're ready to go for the next stage. Because if you can't do simple assignment of your own life, then why bother? Really. The topic I'll be taking is visioning. And the reason why I said you should go through that is so that you know your victories, you know your success over time, the things you have been able, right, to accomplish. If I should tell you to introduce yourself, what would you say about you? That said, let's quickly go on to it. For those who wrote that, please, what can you tell me about yourself that you discovered yesterday? Just one word or two that you discovered yesterday. It was so good I wrote this. What feeling came out of that when you went through that assignment, writing the story of your life? Anyone care to share? I saw hands earlier. What did that do to you? Yes, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah. While I was writing the story about myself, I discovered where I got it wrong. And but I have a caveat there.
Beautiful. And that is what we are going to do today. So the reason why I gave you that assignment is so that we can go further, because it's more of practical. I can't teach visioning without the practical aspects. You must be able to apply it. Anything that you're here to learn must be applicable. It is not theoretical. As a matter of fact, your life is not theoretical. Your life is practical, and it is not a dress rehearsal. So you can't say, I appeared now, then I want to reappear. It is not a dress rehearsal. Your life is real. This moment you're spending is real, and you're not going to spend it again. So you have to be very intentional about it. So you see why I said you should write the story of your life. So for those who are not here, and then you know this, please go ahead and do it, then you'll be able to apply what you're about to learn today. So I founded the Consular Company. And what do? We build relationship bridges when it comes to marriage, when it comes to employee and boss and all of that. In short, we make peace. All right, conflict resolution. Beautiful. That's what we do at the Reconciliar Company. Our team is Olufunke Tolokpaige Ministries, and we do have outreach, reach out to people, especially bus terminals, station. And I think there was a time I shared my experience. That going out there, one of the days we're going to park, we're going to have an outreach and we're going to park. And one of the guys just came, he said, come. He said, no, are we not going to face one way? He said, no, don't be scared. Obviously, it's a place that has been designated for parking, so people come in right there. But because we do not have knowledge about it, so we were skeptical. We were thinking, is this possible? Hope we won't be said to flouted the rule, right? The law and all of that. So he said, no, come, don't be scared. This is an Agbero. And the way is in fact, I didn't say, he said, don't be scared. You know, oh my God, the phonetics, everything. And I wondered, what are you doing here? He is someone who is confident, who probably is knowledgeable, but is in the wrong place. And we have a lot out there. A lot. Wasting away. Resources, treasures for this nation. You don't want to be one of those. As a matter of fact, I'm already planning something to reach out to people like that. That's just one of the things I do, because I'm passionate about life redefinition. So that takes me to the Olufunke mentorship. So I have a mentorship platform where I help people to redefine their lives. Hence, the reason for that topic, visioning. Do we get that now? So we'll be getting a glimpse of it, not fully, because that should be masterclass. All right, and also I'm a pastor. I pastor the Grace family of the Fountain of Life Church alongside my husband. Let's quickly go. Visioning. If you're on a table and you have someone with glasses with you, I just want us to do this exercise because it's practical. We all have glasses. I didn't have to buy glasses here. You're welcome, sir. I didn't have to buy glasses here. And then, so if you can be kind enough, can you lend, not, don't put it right on the, if it is not Shako, I'm not talking of Shako mended. I'm not talking of but the recommended one. Don't put it close to you, but just try to see through it and tell me your experience. Let's go. Quickly. Please, if you know your glasses should not be shared, please don't share. All right. Then you're going to tell me your experience. Look through it. Fireflies, please, how many minutes do I have? Because I must be. Okay. Thank you. Are we ready? Please, anyone, tell me your experience. And those of you on recommended glasses, if you have to do a lot of things without the glasses, tell us your experience as well. Yes, please. The object you are seeing is bigger. And are you comfortable with it? No. She said the object she saw is actually bigger and she's not comfortable. Who else? It's blurry. Beautiful. Who else? Any of the tables? Let's go. Yes, sir. It is what? Wider. Beautiful. Who else? It's blurry. I want to hear something. No one experienced something farther. In what?
Okay, sorry. I don't use glasses, but immediately I use glass. The stuff drags my eyeball.
Wow. So you do not feel comfortable at all. There's a reason why you are not using glasses. And there's a reason why you are using glasses for those that are using it. That means it is tailor-made. There's a uniqueness to you that you must come to understand about yourself. And that will take away comparing yourself with someone else. That will take away envy, jealousy, or when you hear, oh, this is the business that is booming, everybody runs into it. You are not sure if you can do it, if it's something something you really have passion for, if it's something you have enough knowledge about, if it's something you are supposed to do at all. You don't even know what you need. That is what it means. At some point, my husband uses glasses, so somehow I just like I said, can I just use glasses? Can I just use it? So I said, let me get one recommended. See, it's in the house. I hardly use it. Because sometimes I said, how do you feel having something hang all over this, all over? I don't need these things. I could read something further. I could read something. I said, how do you do it? That is your difference. You cannot know these things if you don't take time out to sit with you and really know what you need. And that is where a lot of people have found themselves. And this is just a subtle action or root of what's low self-esteem. Because you find it difficult to define you. You don't know you. And so you think you can always be someone else. That's a misconception when we're even talking about role models, we're talking about mentors. Your mentor is not to groom you or to help you, right? To develop you to become someone like him or her. No. They're just to help you to find your path, to lead you, to strengthen you, to help you see what you need to see. You hear, when I grow up, I want to be like you. It's an ignorant statement. You should be confident enough to be you. You learn principles, you learn something, but how do you apply it to you? There is no glasses that is exactly the same for everyone here. Are you aware? None. So there is a uniqueness to you, to your life, to your purpose, to what you need to achieve. There's a uniqueness to that, your business, what differentiates you. So that when you are going through your times of down and all of that, you will know how to pick it up. That is visioning. And the you I'm talking about is even your mind. In a lot of mindset re-engineering. We grew up, I had this experience when I first got married. I went to my grandfather's place and all of that. So I wanted to help him to make wheat. But the type of toner they had is this round one. And the one I grew up using is this flat one. So I thought, well, toner is what? Toner. So I started using it. The first wheat I will ever make. You know what they call seed? Cocoa? It has a lot. It has different sizes, the big ones, the small ones. You know, the big ones can still stylishly remove them. Then the small ones that looks like grains of gari inside of it. I stared and stared and stared. My husband came and said, what's happening? Is the thing? I said, it's ready. Oh, is this thing? Oh, he helped me. He said, I said, can I make another one? He said, even if you make it, I said, is this toner? I'm not used to it. So afterwards, my brother-in-law would always come in to do what? To help me. I should have known that I am not, I've never used it before. Thank God I had a loving father-in-law who ate it with all the... I said, Daddy, Emma Binu. He said, don't worry. I understand. But you can imagine, if I didn't have someone who had chills. So sometimes when you're venturing into business, you're venturing into your career, you're venturing into a lot of things, it might be something you do not know. Can you at least take time out to seek knowledge? Sometimes you want to cover up self-esteem of saying, no, I don't know these things. I think when you are able to say, I want to know, then you will know, because that sets your mind to being open. I want everyone to touch their eyes. Touch your eyes. How do you feel touching your eyes? It is your eyes. It is nobody else. So when we're talking about vision, when you're talking about what you can see, it is your own. And no one can see it the way you can see it. In the course of this teaching, this conference, you will be taught how to market, how to cast your vision someone else. But first, let us know how to catch that vision, your own vision. Next, touch your ears. Are you touching mine? Are you touching mine? It is your ears. So you have responsibility on what you hear and what you don't want to hear. But before I go into that, I said something about the human mind. I said your mind is not a hardware. It is not hardware. It is a software. So simple life application instructions might be too high for a simple-minded person. A simple-minded person is someone who is so content in him or herself and is not even ready to receive more. Believes so much in what he or she had been able to gather over the years, and yet is not able or is not open to new things. For example, technology. Do you understand? A lot of people can't do simple things on their phone. Your phone is beyond to record and to send text and to do a lot of things. You could do document, you could scan, you could do so many things with your phone. But if you're not open to it, how many of us, after buying a phone, you go through, especially brand new phone, you go through the manual? How many people have really gone through the manual of their phones? Very few. Because if you don't go through it, you will not know what your phone can do. You will not know the capacity, you will not know everything. You will not be able to access everything in it. Same way, if you don't sit with you, you don't know what you're capable of doing. You don't know. And sometimes you are waiting for someone to come and validate you. Your validation must first be with you. You must know your capability. You must know your strength. You must know your weakness that you are working on. So weaknesses should not remain that way. Oh, I messed it up here. Oh, maybe it's a weakness, but I need to get enough knowledge in this regard. When it's something you can't do, then you seek collaboration. I think I have a friend. I think I have someone in my sphere of relationship that can help me with this. So to thrive in any situation, your mind must be on the reset button of your mind. You just have to be fluid. You just have to be flexible. Mindset re-engineering takes a lot of intentionality for you to have. Let me come down. I think you just use the slide before I come back up. I have just very few minutes so that I love to come closer. I said here that it is your ears. I said earlier it is your what? And it is also your eyes. The only thing that you can tell me today is if I ask you, what is your name? You can confidently tell me, right? But I might not remember again. But you will always know your name. So when it comes to your vision, when it comes to your life, you should be able to read it like a book. You should be able to know it even to the last page of every book. That is what your life is first. Then you are able to know, oh, when it comes to business, I can do it. I have a friend who, for over 10 years, she's always heard that you cannot do business. From my family, you cannot do business. You cannot do business. So she just stayed with just one work. But she has business ideas. I said, who told you that you can't do this? She said, no, I can't. They said that my temper, my this, my... I said, your what? Your what? Who told you this? My this told me. My this. And these are people that are related because they thought that is who she is, but she's beyond that. And she's doing businesses, managing communities right now. Because it took a sitting down with her and saying, okay, you desire this. What if you are going to do this business? How will you do it? What are the things you do? And started writing. I said, can you do it? Say, yes, I can. Then go ahead and do it. So you don't wait for someone to define you. So where you missed it is going back and say, what did I miss? Because when you cannot put a name on it, when you cannot name it, then you cannot have a solution to it. The reason why you go to the doctor for diagnosis and all of that is they'll say, oh, okay, this is the problem. Then they can prefer what? Solution. But in cases where they don't know what the problem is, will they be able to prefer solution? No. So from your past now, the next phase is, what do you want to do next? What do you want to define your life as? What do you see concerning yourself? What we go through, even as a family, as an individual, as a nation, sometimes it's because, in fact, most times it's because of lack of vision. We don't know where we are going and we are praying it go better. It is a journey that you know you're going. But once you don't, you just keep moving. Let's just keep going. It will be better. Better how? Where? When? You don't just sit and say it is well. Yes, it is well. How? What do you want to do? What is the next phase? You're faced with this challenge and you're wired to prefer solution. Really, that is what every human being is created for, to prefer solutions, provide answers. You answer a lot of questions, solve national problems, solve family problems, solve community problems, solve individual problems. You don't run away from it. When a life is without vision, then it's without purpose, it's without meaning. So what can you see next? Like I said, it is your eyes. And really, it is how much of what you can see. And most times, don't be limited by the little things you can see now, because if all you see right now is all you see, then blindness is not far. There is so much that the nation is even depending on you and I. Are you aware? We are the answers. To your immediate family, what do you do? Do you wake up to prefer solution, or you are part of the problem? You're trying to explain yourself. They don't understand you. You don't understand them. Everybody is growing in confusion. So what do you see about? Write that question, because that is what these are the things you get home to do. Write it. What do I see about my life? What do I really desire about me? What do I desire to see? Next, please. Next slide. Yes, it is your ears. You know, I told you about a lady that she has heard so much about her that she didn't go into business. Next, please. I said, you have control. Tell your neighbor you have control. Hey, come on, you have control. If your neighbor is not ginger, tap and say you have control. If nobody has moved on your table, you still look like, oh yeah, shake that person. Say, you have control. You have control. Now stand up and move to another table and say, you have control. Say, I mean, you have control. Go ahead, move to another table. You have control. Go ahead. You have control, actually. You have that control. Yes, I do. I have it, and I'm in charge right now. Yes. The reason why I've said this is very therapeutic. Very therapeutic. When you get home, are we together now? When you get home, listen carefully. Say it over and over. You have control. And it is as much as I can see, as much as I can desire, I can make it to happen. Your two weapons, your ears and your eyes, is very powerful to ensuring that your vision comes to bear. Not even anyone's. Yours. Yours. When you know the power of vision you have, you don't have to start looking for somebody to see your own future, your future for you. Someone that has not even seen their own future. It's like the blind leading the... You have control over it. Every negative things that you have heard, begin to block your ears against it, because you can do it. Say, I can do it. I can do it. I can achieve it. But there's a power of writing. You can do what? Write. There's the power of what? Writing. Because once you write it, you keep reading it. Your eyes is fixed on it. While you are reading it, you're speaking it, and your ears can hear it. So you don't need somebody to give it someone, yeah, read it to me. Do you understand? No. You write it down. There is a connection that with time, every nerve in you begins to work to accomplish it. That even when negative, anything, maybe economic situation, whatever is going on around might be saying, no, 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 you will see the positive part, and then you will be able to bring it to bear. That is when you have the spirit of a go-getter. That is when you hear you are unstoppable, because you have conceived it in that secret place where only you sat to conceive everything you have. Get home and write it. What is that business idea? Even if no one has ever done it, and you know it's going to profess solution, and at the end of the day, you are adding value, and then it becomes a stream of wealth for you. So what is stopping you? I can tell you are the only one hindering yourself right now, because you don't need anybody's permission to happen. You don't need it. The next slide, please. I said, what have you seen? What do you see? What can you see? What do you want to see? Ask yourself these questions. What have you seen? Might be, hey, my brother, eyes don't see. The thing where my eye don't. Or you say, waiting Musa no go see for. You probably have seen a lot. And you can get to that, a show more age, meaning. We've been around for a while. Right now, what do you see? The next, what can you see from where you are right now? Then, what do you want to see? Because sometimes what you can see might be still very discouraging. Then you replace that with what you want to see, because your life answers to the law of replacement. It answers what? To the law of replacement. I love what you shared, about when you said, you saw where you missed it. Now, the next thing is starting and not repeating what has happened. Now, let me plan. Let me have a vision. Then you can start. What have you heard? What do you want to hear? What can you hear? What do you want to hear? Same question. Please ask that. All right. Thank you. I love that. Next slide. Let's look at this picture. What can you see on this picture? What can you see on that picture? You can see face and what? She said face and shadow. Please pass the mic around. Let's go.
A flower
Let's go
vase
quickly. Oh, yes, a flower vase. Let's
with
go.
butterfly and the flower in it.
Who's talking?
I.
Wow. Okay. A flower vase with butterflies in the flower vase, right? And what else? Here.
There are two faces facing each other.
Beautiful. There are two faces facing each other, and that's the truth. We have three things there. We have butterflies. You can see the black butterfly, you see the white butterfly. You can see a flower vase, a vase that is in the middle, that's the white one. Then it's like you see two faces facing each other. So can you see all three objects at once? Let's go. Can you see it at once? As you are seeing the faces, you are seeing can you see it all at once? For the nose, let me see your hand. For the yes, let me see your hands. I need your eyes. So you can see it all together. Are you aware that when you try to see the verse, you will not see the faces? So why do you say you can see it all at once? When you want to see the two faces, when you are looking at the two faces alone, when you are picking the two faces, I love this, I'm enjoying this. Please add 5 minutes. Now, what is here is that you can see everything. Are you listening to me? Yes, you want to say something. Please give her the mic. Give her the mic.
I'm not even looking at the verse. I'm looking at the two faces plus the butterflies or flowers, so to say, on it.
Yes, beautiful. That means when you want to look at the faces, you will see the faces and then butterflies coming in between them. Yes or no? Then if you want to focus on the verse, you just see a verse with butterflies coming out of it. Am I correct with that analogy? So you need the power of focus. Do you get that message? You need to focus. Everything is beautiful, but you need to focus to be able to bring your vision to bear. Let's go to the next slide. You have limited time. You have limited time. To bring your vision, you must ensure that procrastination cannot be your friend. It steals life, it steals destiny. Procrastination is a thief. Is a what? It's a thief. So you have what it is. In fact, see, limited time only. So you can't afford not to focus anymore. You must focus on what you're doing. I'm not sure if you visited your tailor before, but sometimes I'll just visit this tailor and then she's putting one piece together, and I'm wondering, what is she making? But the tailor that is so focused on that machine knows what he or she is what? You must be focused, even when people around do not understand. Next slide, please. Please, can you help me with this slide? It's not helping. Next is acknowledge you need help. You need help to see farther. What is that? What instrument is that? Acknowledge you need help when you need it. Then I said help comes in different degree or measure. Know what you need per time. This other instrument also, what is it? This is a binocular. Help comes in different degree or measure. Know what you need per time. That is a camera. Sometimes you just need to capture it. Sometimes you need that instrument to see farther. When you want to see something detailed, you need it. And these are people, mentors, the teachings, the curriculum that you would be experiencing from this lecture. These are the things you would need. So do not let any of it go. So when you need it, you go to it and then you make use of it. Then the next one is help comes in different degree or measure. So help comes in different degree or measure. Know what you need per time, even if you have to stretch from your comfort zone. I love this. You might not play it safe, actually, especially when you have to, but research will always help you. That is where research comes in. Many people don't do research. How often do you go online to know about things, to know what you do? Do you know that somehow it's even unfortunate that you get to know what is happening in your country from people's mouths? And because it's a communication that you are passing from one to the other, the details is being watered down, and then people will add their own thoughts. And then say, they said. If you are living all your life on they said, you are not ready. You are not. So what do you know about it? What do you know about your life? What do you know about your vision and all of that? Only you will know the help that you need. That is what will happen at the end of the day. You don't come to a conference with a mindset that you will be fixed. You come with a mindset that I want to receive everything that needs me to be fixed, because you will know where you have a problem. During the teaching, a lot of things will be exposed to you. Oh, wow, this is the problem. Then you know. So only you know the help you need. I love my grandmother's story. I stayed with my grandmother for a while, but I think in her 80s or 90s, and she just said that she's having eye problem and all of that. She said she wanted to visit So my dad said I should take her. We went there. So the optician started different, oh, can you see this? And started different lens with her and all of that. So I thought, I said, okay, maybe she's okay with it, with this. Then I can't, in fact, she was going to walk. She was going to walk just the way she walked in herself. Now with these glasses, the optician said, okay, let's try it. I think you said you can see this later, you can see that later. And she was going to watch. She said, please hold me. I said, hold you? She actually asked both of us to hold her. I said, you don't need this. That means this is wrong for you. If you're like my grandmother, at one point, the optician tried to cajole her to give her another. She said, right now is that my eyes is what? Enough. And she left without it. You must know the help that you need. Only you will know it, and only you will get through it. Then I said, you should find you. And here I'm going to wrap up. We can say a lot about individuals, about people you know. You can say, I know him. Do you know yourself? You must take time to find you and to find who you really are. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone that has been on this journey with me. And take this following point out. Wait, you will clap very well. 1 minute and I'm wrapping up. Your mind is not a game player. You must be able to trust your mind. Don't deceive yourself. You should write this. A mind to be reset must first be free from blame transfer. Don't blame anyone for what you've been through. When I said you should write the story of your life. All right? But rather, you must be ready now to take responsibility for your own life. You must be able to understand how to make your mind fluid. It's important. Be open to instructions, be open to corrections, be open even to criticism. It helps you. Rather than seeing that as being offensive, I think it's an area where you need to work on. Your story is enough to boost your self-esteem. I said, write your story, ensure you do that. You could have made a decision for yourself and you can still do it. The fact that you made a decision to be in this room, that means you can make other decisions. So rest on that. You are a success already. Then I said the next phase of your life is the investment and cropping state. The season where you don't eat all you have, but plant almost all you have. You have to live on the little and be ready for the harvest. Put in the work. The period to seek collaboration, you must understand that. It is not me, myself, and I. For everything that I wrote there, I do reconcile, I have teams, all right? I have a team of people working on each with me. I must tell you also that for every knowledge you're going to glean from this conference, please domesticate it. Domesticate it, that means your own problem and getting your own solution to it is that you have to tailor fit your solution to your problem. Tailor fit your what? Solution to your problem. The problem is most people don't want to work on themselves, and that is where the most work is. And I hope to see you when next that you're going to share the story of your life. This will be a landmark for you in redefining yourself, in sitting with yourself, in knowing who you are. Thank you for having me, and God bless you. Thank you. Oh, is that how to clap? Really?
Lagos, you people just fell my hand. That the facilitator herself had to encourage you to clap. So let's redeem ourselves. Let's give her a conference clap. Another conference clap. And a Zulu stomp. Another Zulu stomp. And the Kira. Please let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much. I believe we would have time for questioning, but before that happens, we want to go very quickly to our next session because the facilitator is already here. I want to have you with knowledge, information, and what? And what? And what? I'm hearing food from that side. Don't worry, your breakfast will be served soon. Your breakfast will be served. Your breakfast will be served. I don't mean I mean breakfast too. If I'm not interested. Miss Amaka, they don't want breakfast, please. All right, our very next speaker is going to be speaking on business processes and structure. She is going to run us through mapping and optimizing business processes, implementing efficient systems and tools, streamlining operations and productivity, and implementing lean principles. To do justice to this, and one of the core reasons why we are here today is because we are trying to give our businesses meaning. We're trying to give our businesses a life. And beyond just giving them a life, we want to get them working. Please put your hands together for our keynote lecture this morning that will be taken by Joyce Awoshika.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Can we just give a round of applause to our people who put this together, Dr. Dio, Israel, and everyone. It's a great privilege to have an opportunity to be at an event where they're focusing specifically on your skills development. So you need to give them another round of applause. Okay, great. I hope IT has my slides ready. Are we all set? How many of us in here are entrepreneurs? Business people. Okay, we have, if you're a business person, stand up. Amazing. If you're a business person, stand up. Okay, great. And if you are intending to be a business person, stand up. Okay, so we're in the right place today. We're in the right place. This morning, Dr. Dio, or afternoon, Dr. Dio Israel has asked me to speak on business operations, processes, structures. And so I titled this today, Built to Last, Structures and Strategies to Build a Sustainable Business. How many of us want a long living business? Thank you. How many of us want the business to outlive us? Okay. How many of us want to build a business where one day maybe we can sell shares in the business? Okay, so we're in the right place today. Awesome, let's get started. And I don't have so much time, and I know that I think I'm the person in between you and lunch. So I won't take up your time too much. Let me just make note. Okay, so in about 40 minutes or so, we'll be rounded up. So let me just say a bit about me, why Dr. Dio asked me to be here. Has anyone here ever heard of a brand called Oriki? Good, we thank God. So I run a brand called Oriki. Oriki is a wellness and manufacturing company. So those of us in services, can we raise our hand? If you have a business that's in the service industry, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. My service entrepreneurs. Do you have a business where you sell products? Awesome. Do you have a business where you manufacture products? Amazing. Clap for yourselves. So I am on both sides of the business. I have Oriki, which is a chain of wellness spas. We are in 10 locations. We built 12 spas in 8 years across 2 countries and 5 cities, and we distribute our products globally. Okay? That is what Oriki is about. So I think I know a little bit about structure and systems, right? So moving on. I've also built a reputation over the years. I have this deep passion where, can we take it back, please, IT? Follow me, please. Yes. I have built a strong passion in helping other people like you to understand what it means to systemize and structure your business. How many of you know that you can have the best business and it doesn't scale? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't grow. And you could be looking at the person next to you and saying, why are they getting more? Why are they opening shops? Why are they adding more? It hasn't happened. Most of the time, beyond marketing, beyond sales, the issue is structure. Are you with me? The issue is creating a business that you can replicate. How many of you, if you feel like if you had to leave the business for 4 weeks, could it survive? I heard someone say no. Can it survive? That is how you answer whether or not you have structure and systems or not. Can the business survive in your absence? So I'm very passionate about impacting entrepreneurs and SMEs to build businesses that can outlive them, businesses that allow them to achieve more with less effort. So here's Oriki number 1. That was started in 2015. Put my picture up. And this was the first location. This is 9 years ago. We'll be 9 in October. And at the time, the vision was just to be a place where we showcased our products. We have a range of skincare products, personal grooming products for men and women, and we wanted people to come in and sell. And then I did not know at the time that Oriki would grow into a venture that would also add on services. So we began to add on services. Some of you need to catch this point because the services were added as a way to give people an experience. So it was a marketing strategy to bring people into the door. But I didn't know when we had this one humble location that we would grow into many more. But one thing I did was follow the demand. Somebody say, follow the demand. Great. So from the products, we started with 37 products. IT, you can help me. And these products were for men, for women, for face, for body, for hair. And I said to myself, nobody knows us. We don't have the biggest marketing budget. Let's find a way to bring people in the door. And that first location you just saw turned into a place where we could also bring people in for services. As they had their facials and different services, they would use our products. Today, here is where we are at 8.5 years. Oriki Group has grown to, next slide, please, 10 product stores, 12 spas created, 7 subsidiaries, 3 countries, and 49 products. What are we doing? We are creating jobs, democratizing wellness, and building a sustainable ecosystem. To date, we have 180 employees. It started with one small dream. But when people ask me, what's the differentiator? By the way, I'm sure you guys can tell from the way I'm speaking. It's not like Nigeria was home for me forever. Nigeria is my home now. But when I came to Nigeria, it was my first time. That was 11 years ago, and I never left. So this is going to be my home. This is a country that I love. There's no better place to be than Nigeria. So no, I did not come with a silver spoon in my hand. I did not come with the big, huge marketing budget. I did not come with all the money in the world. No, I came with the dream, and I started that way. But what did I do? I built systems. Someone say systems. I built structure. Someone say structure. I built processes. Someone say processes. As I speak to you now, my assistant who's with me today has been with us for 5 years. She's worn 4 different roles in the company. And they all know I don't have to physically be in a location. I don't have to step foot. I can leave the country for 1 year straight. Nothing will happen to my business. Systems and structures. And it's possible for you too. Do you believe me? Okay, so what are you going to learn from this session? After this session, you're going to be able to gain knowledge about the value of implementing systems and structures in your business. Can I tell you something? It doesn't matter how small or big you are. If currently you're trading product, maybe you buy product from someone and you sell it to another person at a higher price, that is fine. It doesn't matter how small or big you are. You need systems to grow. Number 2, you're going to develop an understanding on tools and frameworks needed for effective enterprise operations. And number 3, you're going to understand common challenges that entrepreneurs face when implementing structure and practical tips on overcoming them. So let's get into it. Next slide, please. Our society, how many of us know right now? The economy is economy, isn't it? The economy is special right now. And our society is constantly evolving, and you cannot afford to remain in one place. None of us knew in 2020 that one day, on that fateful day in March, that we're going to hear that, oh, this little sickness that started in Asia, people were coughing, turned into something that shut down the globe. None of us knew. And typically in my industry, one where people come in and they have services, you would expect that it would make us crash and fall. You would expect that that would be the end of us. We would die. It would be the end. But because, and I tell you again, because of what? Systems, structures, we were able to prevail through COVID, and we were able to grow beyond what we could have expected. 2020 actually was the turning point for our company. It was the year in which things started to increase more and more. So in the midst of all that's happening in the world and in the economy, there is a need to be innovative and implement sustainable systems that will what? Outlive you. Outlive you. So let's go on. Dr. Dio wanted me to speak on tools. He said tools required for effective operations and sustainability. So let's talk about some of them. Has anybody here ever heard of a standard operating procedure, SOP? Okay, you've heard of SOPs. Okay, SOPs. Anybody here heard of workflow management? Also, we have communication tools, key performance indicators, and organizational charts. Basically, if you take a picture of this image, these are the tools you need to build a company that can be replicated over and over and over again. As I speak to you now, this Friday, we're opening another location. Next month, we're going to be opening another location. And in 3 months, we're opening in another country, making it our 3rd country. How do we do it? Again, tools. So number 1, standard operating procedures. If you don't take anything from today, write this down. SOPs. SOPs. Some of you guys, how many of you have a one-man business? You're the one running everything. Okay, I see your hands. I see your hands. Do you want to remain one man? You're hoping that someday someone will join you. I see you. Someone's going to join you. Okay, so what you need to be creating in the meantime is something called SOPs, standard operating procedures. What are they? They are basically a document that outlines everything that you're responsible for, everything that you currently handle. You saw that beautiful building, but it didn't start that way. I was by myself. And the first employee I hired was someone by the name of Loveth. Loveth is still with me today, 9+ years later, running her entire own subsidiary, one of our 7 subsidiaries, in her own office, a mother now, and 2 boys. She started with me, and what did I do? I said, Loveth, everything that I've been currently working on my own before you joined me, I'm going to begin to document them. So if I was wearing the hat of customer service officer, inventory officer, receptionist, accountant. I began to document everything I did. And that formed what we call SOPs, a step-by-step format that provided instructions on how to carry out tasks. Why is the story of Loveth very important? Because 2015, on the great day in which I opened the location, did a small little launch to bring friends in, introduce people to Oriki. That evening, I did not know that my husband was preparing to propose to me. So that was the day I got engaged. Oh, I'll say that again. Oh. So we got engaged on that night. Oh, what a wonderful day to end your launch. Fantastic. I just launched this company. And then we started planning the wedding. A few months later, we were married. And then, all the special grace of God, right after the wedding, we were expecting our first son. And when that happened, there was no way I could say, this is too fast. Everything is happening too fast. Marriage, children, what's going on? I traveled for a bit, had my son. What am I going to do? Am I going to close the business? Do you know some of us go through that? When you have to leave or travel or health, you end up what? Closing your business. But because the moment Loveth joined me, I was putting in a framework in her mind of standard operating procedures, of documentation. I did not miss a beat. There's a running joke. This is how many years later? There's a running joke in the company that when MD left, they call me MD, Managing Director, we actually grew. Meaning that they had a guide. Some of you guys, you hire people, maybe you have one salesperson, one person answering your phones, one person handling emails, and then you micromanage. You're on top of them. You don't give them, you don't give them a chance to grow, to be empowered. Instead of doing that, provide them with an SOP documentation in which you can then hold them responsible. So Victoria, who's sitting here with me, is the one project managing the new location opening on Friday. I have not had to do one thing. What do? When I'm ready, I go to the Google spreadsheet. I see the chart, the active chart that's showing where they are in the process, who's responsible for what. Someone say to me, documentation. See, all of you guys that look at companies and say, how is this company growing? How did they do it? How did this company raise money? Even if they raise money through family and friends, would a family or friend invest in your company if you can't even put together a well-articulated document to explain? They cannot. Nobody has free money just to give out. So I'm here to tell you that SOPs are here to stay, and SOPs are your distinctive factor. For those in the food business, or you're not in the food business, but you can make amazing FOE roll. Let's just say you can make amazing FOE roll. It's so good that people ask you, why can't you sell it to me? Why can't you put it into a container for me? And then you know that your orders are increasing. You started out and you say, oh my goodness, this is becoming too much. Today you have 15 orders. How will you make this for everyone? What do you need? An SOP. What's that SOP? It's basically a recipe. It would say to the person, you see, exactly at this amount of time, when the water is boiled, when this is done, I put in these ingredients, I use this seasoning, I do that. And then what happens? Someone else can replicate exactly what you have made. So an SOP can also be called a what? A recipe. Moving on to the next. SOPs can also be role-driven or process-driven. Please make that note. So you can have an SOP for a customer service officer. You can have an SOP for an inventory manager. You can have an SOP for anyone. And you can also have an SOP for processes. How do you handle cash payments? How do you handle customer complaints? Everything has to be documented. So for those, again, raise your hand, who have one-man businesses. You're the only, okay, many hands in the room. Start documenting your processes. You do not wait until you bring in employee number 2. You are employee number 1. You don't wait. You start documenting now. Okay, moving on. Just a few things. I came up with an acronym for SOPs, the importance of SOPs, and that is secure. SOPs help your business to be secure. They provide you with standards. efficiency, continuity, uniformity of performance. They reduce mistakes and they have exemplary output. Back to the food example. If you make the best moi moi and you're starting a business around it, and when you're not in the kitchen, the moi moi is garbage, can you build a business? Can you build a business? I can't hear you. You can't. So you have to put an SOP together so that at the points in which someone else is creating that moi moi, they're also making it the same way you would. Okay, number 2, workflow management. Workflow management is the coordination of tasks that make up the work an organization does. So it describes the task, right? It describes the model in which you've used to put together your business, all the well-defined purposes and tasks. So why is it important? It ensures that everything gets done at the right time. So perhaps maybe you're in the business of selling items and you use Instagram as your main point, right? Perhaps you have a system in a way, okay, on Mondays, you post the new items for the week, you set the price, you put up an automatic message in your DMs, so people they get some information, you put your account number out this way, you procure again, maybe you purchase again when there's only 5 units left. This is what you call workflow management. What does workflow management allow you to do? It empowers employees to operate autonomously without you micromanaging them. Do you understand? You can say to the employee, look, the processes are here. This is what you need to follow. When the employee comes and tells you, sir, Oga, madam, we have 0 of this left, you can ask them, how could you wait till 0 was left? When you see in this management process, you're supposed to reorder when it's 5, reorder level. Do you understand? So workflow management empowers you to do that. Next slide. It also increases your efficiency by removing bottlenecks. It also helps you to understand the reality of your business every step of the way so you can strategize and grow. One thing I'll tell you is that when you grow, you have more pain points. When you grow, you have more bottlenecks. When you grow, you have more issues. So every time you grow, you have to adjust. That is the power of workflow management. So how do you create a workflow? Next slide. Identify your resources. List out the tasks that should be accomplished. Find out who is accountable for each step and role. If it's you right now, okay, it's you. But one day you will not be the accountant, customer service, HR, inventory all in one. One day you're going to grow to a point where you'll have everyone. Am I correct? Right. So you create the diagram to visualize the process. How do we all work together? Then you test the workflow to ensure it articulately depicts how you want to work together. You then train your team on this and you deploy the workflow. I put some apps that you guys can look at the very bottom. Even if you're not in the stage where you're ready to deploy these apps, these are free apps, by the way. You can take a look at them because they help you with workflow management, Trello and Asana. Number 3, communication tools. How many of you guys have built WhatsApp-only businesses? Please raise your hand confidently. Raise your hand confidently. Let me see your hand shoot up. Okay, put your hand down and say, from today forward, I will diversify my communication tool. You cannot build a business only on WhatsApp. It's not sustainable. It's amazing, right? I can speak to customers all around the world for free, so long as they have on WhatsApp, correct? But when you're using only WhatsApp, how do you manage volume? When you want to get to a customer's order that came 7 months ago, how do you manage that? When WhatsApp crashes, how do you manage it? You guys have all experienced WhatsApp crash. Have you not experienced it? There's been times, I can recall 2 times when everybody was like, thinks WhatsApp's down, nobody's WhatsApp is working. What if tomorrow they decide to pack up WhatsApp? What will you do? Diversify your communication tools. Diversify how you communicate with customers externally and how you communicate internally within your team. We do not rely on WhatsApp. In fact, We are so particular about systems in my company that even when a customer, everybody needs to have WhatsApp. So if a customer reaches you through WhatsApp, and let's say they're ready to pay, we tell them, okay, thank you. Please provide your name and your email address. And is this the right phone number we should use for you? And once we have that, we send them an invoice from another platform. Does anyone know the power of that? We've collected their data. We've collected their data. So how do you want to go to WhatsApp and go all the way back 6 years to the first customer who ordered from you? Write down, you might not even have their name. You just call them sir and ma. You didn't even have their name. But now we forced ourselves to build a database. Today, listen, back to my COVID story. When COVID happened and all my competitors were saying, this is it, we're finished, it's not possible, how are we going to survive? They shut us down. We're a high-touch business. What's going on? You know what we did? We went to our newsletter database. At the time, we had 39,000 emails and names. And we sent an email. How are you guys doing? Personalized. You know, we use the software. We use MailChimp. How are you guys doing? We know it's tough times. We're all feeling it. We just want to let you know we're here for you. Here are some techniques to provide stress relief in these doubtful times. They were writing us back. Oh my gosh, it's so good to hear from you guys. Is there any way you can provide a service? Is there any way you can provide a service? So you know what that happened to me? I sat there, I said, people are asking us. Victoria was with us. My team. Do you think happened next? Innovation. Innovation started going through my mind. I started thinking, so one customer wrote an email and said, today I went to the hospital for a checkup and hospitals are fully functional. All the doctors and nurses are wearing their PPE. If they can be open, you can provide a service too. Just come to my house with PPE, meaning wear your guard. I said to myself, and I turned to my husband. I said, hubby, people are asking us to do home service. Will I look like a greedy person? That's actually what I said to him. Will I look like I'm putting my staff on the line? He said, well, no. If your customers, what I say before about demand, follow the demand. He said, if your customers are asking you for it, just create a short. We created 3 of our team members. They came to the headquarters. Everyone took their COVID test. You know, that time it was prick. Put it in, and you get a test in a few minutes. Made sure, put them in accommodation. Open up the next newsletter with 39,000 emails again and said, we are open for home service. Guys, we could not keep up with demand. In 7.5 weeks, we were in over 600 homes. It became a point where we had to actually train our staff on how to be very discreet. Okay, we're going to this person's home. They're a public official. This person is a CEO of a mega company. Be quiet, because everybody was looking for where they could get this stress relief. And we were the only ones in Lagos doing it. Why? Systems and structure. Let me tell you what I mean. During that time, one of the ways we communicated was we were far ahead of our competitors. We had a technology software where people could book online. So instead of us having to call, you know, we didn't have customer service coming in the office to answer phone calls. What we did was in the email, we sent out a link. If you would like to book, please use this platform to book, but you have to include your address in the notes section. So from our homes, few of us were sitting on devices, seeing the emails come in and say, okay, this person wants us in Ikeja, 10 a.m., this person. So we're going to deploy Jennifer to Ikeja and all the mainland clients. 3 people turn into 20 therapists coming into work to provide home services. Communication tools. These are the types of communication tools that you'll need. Email, of course, video and web conferencing. You know, Zoom became like $1 billion company, or however much it's worth now through COVID. Social networking sites. So please use your Instagram. Please use your TikTok, but please collect their data. If they go on Instagram, my name is Optimum Finesse on Instagram, and I want to buy your, telling me, get my data. Every time I buy something on Instagram and the vendor does not ask for my data, it is a missed opportunity for the future. Online collaboration, shared calendars, task management, and production softwares. Next slide. Number 4, we're almost coming to an end now. Key performance indicators. You want me to, okay, should I go back? Please go back for our people here. Take a picture of the screen. Let me tell you, in my company, I don't allow team members to write me on WhatsApp. Only my core team writes me on WhatsApp. We have a tool called Slack. Write it down, another free one. I'm giving you free tools today. SLACK. When you have more than 2 team members, you know what's powerful about Slack? You can create channels. So as you're writing, if the discussion is on inventory, it can be on your inventory channel. If it's on HR, it can be on your HR channel. So you write, and you can also communicate with each other just like WhatsApp. Okay? Can I move on now? Key performance indicators, KPIs. How many of you guys in the beginning of this year, you said, you know what, last year, 2023, in my business, this was my total revenue. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase my revenue by 100%. I'm going to double it. And here's how I'm going to get there. How many of you actually sat down and did strategy? I'm not seeing hands. No. Today marks the end of you not doing strategy. Today marks the end of you not doing strategy. You have to have KPIs. A person who doesn't plans to what? Fail. KPIs are quantifiable benchmarks that help you track your progress towards your goals. There was one day I woke up, I went through one of our dashboards, again, traction. That's where I can see all of our locations in one. I can see all of their revenue. And I opened it up and I said, my goodness, for the last 2 months, we've been doing this same amount. It was a good amount, right? I was grateful for the growth, but we've been doing the same amount every month. Same amount every day. Sorry, you see your revenue daily. From next month, we are going to add an extra 50% on top of it. And the moment I said it, I said, it's not just good to say it, Joycey. How will you achieve it? Next thing you know, we drew up a plan for how we were going to work backwards to achieve that. KPIs, key performance indicators. In your company, it could be the number of customers calling. It could be revenue growth. It could be your turnaround time. But you have to have KPIs. To be effective, a KPI must be well-defined and quantifiable, communicated through everyone in your organization. If it's just you, communicate it to yourself daily. Declare it, decree it. It has to be crucial to achieving your goal, hence why they're called key performance indicators, and it has to be applicable to your line of business and your departments. So if, for example, you're selling, the person who manufactures, what do you manufacture? Anyone? Shoes. So if you're saying that typically in a month you sell 50 pairs of shoes, right? And you want to double that to 100, it needs to be very clear. By the end of Q3, we want to double this to 100. And here's how. We might have to run an ad. We might have to increase ad spend. We might have to decide to stock our shoes in a distributor nearby. Give us more visibility. You have to find things that you can articulate and ensure that you're driving towards that goal. Quickly, 4 category types of KPIs: financial metrics, customer metrics, process metrics, people metrics. Those are your categories. Do you understand? Financial metrics, customer metrics, process metrics, and people metrics. If you take a picture, you can go through that later. Last one. I believe this is the last one. We're almost done. It's organizational chart. I'm going to breeze through this because when I did a scan earlier, many of us are starting businesses. Maybe there's one of us, 2 or 3, but I want you to be thinking about it in the future. Think about if you could have, Madame, you said that you can't wait to have another employee. If you could have that employee today, what role would they be? What role do you need help in? Just state the role. You're a carpenter, so do you want more artisans? So look, she wants more artisans. So maybe in your organizational chart, you would still be at the top and they would be working under you. Are you also an artisan or no? Are you a carpenter? Okay, so that's how it would be. So you begin to think about how you would build your charts. You sell shoes. Do you have a customer service person working with you? What person would you want next? What role? A marketer. See, that's my point. So with the marketer will report to you. For example, they would have specific KPIs. And so this is just an idea of showing you, you want to know who is responsible for what work and the relationships, okay? So I just want to wrap up by talking about a few challenges entrepreneurs face. Number one, lack of effective communication. I have worked with over 500 businesses on my other side of my life, which is the consultancy I run called SOAR, who need structures and systems to scale. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you, maybe 90% of them, when I come into the business, one thing I realize that there's no communication. So what happens if somebody says, I need a marketer, I need a sales officer, they hire the person, go do your work, go do it, go get me shoes, go get me bags, go sell my stuff. And you're wondering, where is the training? Where's the empowerment? No SOPs, no documentation. You want them to just get it. It doesn't work that way. Lack of effective communication is one of the big ways. Number two, no delegation. No delegation. I give you a round of applause for being a fantastic multitasker. But if you multitask from now until the end, you will not grow your business. You have, as a founder and an entrepreneur, you have to be at the strategy level. You have to be at the level where you're looking at how to grow and everybody else is working on the operations. Next one, people have something called the star employee syndrome. Let me ask this question, one of my favorite questions. How many of you have ever dealt with someone who says, I'm leaving, I'm resigning, and you almost wanted to break down and cry? Anybody? This person is so important to your business. I call them the star employee. When you have that person, well done. But you cannot sustainably continue, because what if that person even gets sick, God forbid? What if they decide to go for greener pastures and you can't convince them? You have to ensure that when you've identified someone who's a star, replicate your stars. Don't put everything in one pot. Doesn't work. So benefits. I don't think I have to share the benefits too much with you guys. I think you guys understand the benefits, right? What you've probably inspired by the discussion, but you need to ensure that you're doing these things, creating processes and operations, structures and systems, because it ensures you make faster decisions. It helps you to expand more locations, more services. It helps you to eliminate duplicating of work. It helps you to promote effective communication. So as I conclude now, implementing systems and structures in your business is the best decision you can make as an entrepreneur. Apart from the benefits listed before, structure helps you have an organized business and create sustainability, a business that can outlive you, which will inadvertently translate to having a more organized, well-rounded life. Let me just end with this. People ask me, I think the number one question I get in my Instagram DMs is, Joycey, how do you do this? How do you do everything you do? I'm a mother to 2 young boys. I'm a wife to a politician and a businessman. I am a woman who's built a business that's in several countries and many locations. I also minister. How? I do it because of structure, systems, and processes. I'm able to prioritize my life and build systems that work around me. So if anybody ever wants to contact me, feel free to DM me on any of these 2 DM handles. And I'll be there to answer your questions and to engage with you. Thank you so much, and see you at the top.
Lagos, I believe you can do better than that. Let's give her a conference clap. That conference clap is standing on one leg. Like somebody who has gained from her conversation so far. Let's give her a big Ikira. Wow, that was impactful. Thank you so much, Ma. And I know that you all have questions to ask. You do, right? So if you have questions, please raise up your hand. Ma, is it okay if they ask you some questions? Absolutely. Okay, so if you have questions to ask, my ushers, where is the mic? All right. Questions, please. Everything is clear. That's wonderful. So we have one. If you have questions, please just raise up your hand so that she can take all of them together and then answer. Please go straight to the point. There's no need for a lot of emphasis or repetition.
All right, thank you very much. Please just give a round of applause again. Thank you so much, ma. I'm really grateful. So, into the cleaning products.
Straight to the point.
Yes, that's what I want to do. So, I'm into the cleaning products, and I really want to ask how. I know your business is more of like a competitive business, that you have more of like the biggest guys in the industry. And you, when you start your business, how do you try? Like for me now, I'm into the cleaning products. So we do more of toilet wash, car wash, multi-purpose soaps and the likes. And we have more of all these big brands into it. So how do I still try and channel my energy into this industry where we know that there are more of bigger or big fish into this industry? And you, when you were starting, I know it's more of like a competitive industry. How were you able to narrow your parts and you were able to get your customer again? And I think I saw you have a product store or something like that. Is it like a strategy that I can also use to know that I can use to reach out to people, knowing that we have people that can buy a pick or go out and go and buy other stuff? How do I still try to have people that can patronize me on my products? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a great question. Are you saying that you have your own cleaning product? Okay. So first and foremost, we need to understand that there's enough room in the market. Can you just tell yourself there's enough room in the market for you to exist? If there wasn't enough room in the market, I should have never started my business. How many of you have over 6 skincare products on your shelf, different brands? How many of you have seen spas on every other street in Lagos, whether it's a tiny spa, a big spa, whatever it is? So the first and foremost, what I would tell to you is that you have to, first of all, believe that you have something unique, right? You have to believe, because that's the first thing to eliminate is any self-limiting belief. I did not know anyone when I moved to Nigeria. I did not know, my entire family lives in another country. My new family is my husband's family and my kids. So who am I? Do you understand? Number two, I knew I had something special. So go and develop what you call your USP, your unique selling points. Your unique selling point could be your price. Like for you, your cleaning agent may be cheaper than Harpic. Or it could be the fact that you are sustainable, you use a certain type of ingredients. Oh, you could even come out with the angle of, okay, typically cleaning agents have cancer forming agents. We are clean. We use this, whatever it may be, you have to know your USP. Let me tell you where a lot of businesses fail. They build what I call me too businesses. Oh, I saw this person selling this, so let me do it too. Me too. Me too. And you don't have anything unique about it. Number three, what you were speaking about last, about how you market, is what you would call your differentiation strategy. Instagram is a great place to sell these days. But if you're on Instagram and you're not using ads, you're sleeping. Do you understand? But many people are afraid to use ads because say, oh, I haven't even started earning money. I don't want to use ads. Ads bring you visibility. Do you understand? They give you, you can decide I want to take 1,000 naira towards ads and look at the dashboard, see how many people, oh my gosh, it's people in Ojota looking at it, it's people in Ikoyi. Now you know where to channel your energy. And lastly, you need to also determine the best way to market for you. So you may not have to go and get a storefront. You can do it through e-commerce, but maybe a nice small store could be great. Now, one of our strategies is, what do? We open up spaces in people's already existing business. Can I tell you something? When I started, nobody was thinking about opening spas in hotels. Can I tell you? So all of a sudden, COVID year, that was what switched. This big hotel, they don't have a spa. This big hotel, they don't have a spa. Let's go. And now we're in how many locations? Because hotels found us to be a great partner. So who could you partner with? What stores could you partner with? Put your stores there, and their foot traffic brings you money. That's what you want to look at.
Good afternoon once again. Okay.
Do we have more questions?
Yes, please.
Right.
Okay, so like I said, I am into furniture making, and I also have a walk-in store where you can buy decorative accessories. So majorly, my challenge is, okay, for what I make and deliver, yes, I can put structures to it. But when I have to do installations at the site, how do I, like I was just telling my friend, during the Ilea period, I had to forfeit a business of some good amount of money because I could not keep up with all the installations that I had to be in. And if I am not there in person, okay, if I have to install like a kitchen, for instance, if just driving a screw and removing it, some of the carpenters and these artisans, they leave it that way, and that all can mess up the whole kitchen that I have installed. And if I am not there in person to correct these things, and I have to go later, you know, it messes up my business, it tarnishes my brand. So because of that, I have to be there in person when these installations are happening. How do I go about that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know this is a pain point many people face, but let me just tell you, you obviously know this. What I'm going to say is, you know, you cannot grow that way. So you have 10 major projects and they've called you from Abuja as well. How do you want to share yourself into 10 places? The answer is a team. You have to replicate yourself. You have to build yourself. Small story, it's gotten, listen, we have, one of our subsidiaries is a manufacturer. We manufacture skincare, personal grooming products for hotels across the world from Lagos. We manufacture for over 90 other brands. My team has the formulations, my team does it. To the point where at this point, I don't even know. Today, they're producing 10,000 products for somebody. I don't even know the person. If I was afraid to say, I can't even allow Love It, who I told you guys about, or Ella, or everyone else to know the formulations, to oversee the process, we could never be at a point where we're manufacturing for 90 more companies and growing. You've got to build your team. And part of what's happening is you have fear. You said it when you were speaking. You're gripped with fear. You said that if they put this one nail, how can I trust them? You know what you do? You start creating a mechanism where you give them tasks to do, then you come behind and check it. So he says today, these are the 4 things you're to do. When they've done the 4 things, you on your own covert mission, come check the 4 things. Okay, well, it was done well. It was done. Let me add 4 more things. Do you understand? You build your team. At the same time, while you're building them, you empower them. Good job. That was done well. It's just, Nigeria is a very interesting place. This idea of let me just bring down my staff, shout at them. You have to also do this thing where you empower them. Let them know that what they've done is good. They buy into your company. Then you've built mini U's. I don't even go to locations to open them, just to celebrate a new opening. So that's your answer. Build your team.
Okay, thank you very much for. Good afternoon.
Oh, hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very much for the lecture. So my name is Victor, and we're into travel consulting and management consulting. So my question is, you run a consulting firm. So my question will be, when you started out, how easy was it for you regarding the pricing, in the sense that people look at intangible and vis-a-vis what's the value being brought to the table as regards the price? So how did you navigate that challenge? Because for travel consulting, yes, we are good. They know that, okay, there's a standard price and we're doing well. But for management consulting, how did you navigate that pricing relative to value? Thank you.
What a great question. Consulting is one of these very like, it's a system, or it's a business where you basically can choose, you know, how you want to price yourself. So when I started, it was beginning days, and I actually was dictated by the market. So what I did was, okay, the first things I did was work with a few business owners who needed systems in their businesses, and I worked with them to find the issues. And I gave a price based on what I thought they will be comfortable with. And very soon I experienced fatigue. And the fatigue was, I would wake up and feel like I don't want to work for these people anymore. I don't want to work with them. And I began to study, how do I get myself out of that? And what happened was I changed my pricing to match my value. So if I put a price, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what would motivate me. I'm talking from management consulting. So it would motivate me and drive me to want to work with these customers. And so I set that price. If someone said you're too expensive, then they're not my customer. I cannot pander. I cannot change. They're not my customer. And that's what some of us do in this period of desperation. And what happens is you find yourself running to so many places and you have not really honed in on who your customer is. Right now, I'm in third week tonight. I teach on Tuesday nights. It'll be the third week of a group coaching course called Scale and Dominate. I take entrepreneurs from all over the world through a 6-week course. I'm very clear. The people who I want in my class are people who have built lovable and in-demand companies. I can create a whole nother course for those who are starting out. But in this case, my price point is tagged as you have built. So basically, you're looking at me as an investment. You're looking at SOAR coming in as an investment to your business, just the same way you would look at a proper financial officer or marketing as an investment. So you have to, first of all, determine who your customer is, and secondly, what price is comfortable to you at the value you're bringing in. Never go to sleep feeling like I sold myself short. Now, let me say this before I end, though. There will be a time where you give away things to get that visibility. So you can decide that this client is big. They'll open doors for me. So I'm going to crash my price or even do it complimentary because I want that on my CV. That's what you call intelligence, like being very smart. But you don't do that for everybody. You pick and choose.
I think we can take just one more question. Our
Alright.
time is fast spent.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for that section.
Sorry, somebody is right here. Sorry, Shaz's hand has been up. Just please, thank you.
Okay. Okay, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kabira, and I'm a medical student. Okay, I have a business. I sell clothes to students in school, but I still don't get how I'm supposed to implement system and structures into my business. But I've had this idea for a time, and that is just like other universities in Nigeria. We can just like have job shippers there, like students there that can sell for me. So I don't even really have to do the stress and be marketing and marketing. But I tried that at a point, but it was not working out. So I really don't even know what exactly the next step is. That's just
What did you say your name is?
Kabira.
You see, you already answered your question for yourself. How do you put systems and structures? You want to replicate yourself. You want to earn more, right? So you can utilize other students to either become reps or ambassadors of your brand, right? So you don't have to come to me physically. You can also go to this person in hall so-and-so and this person at this school. I'm at this school. You can go to Babcock. You can go to Covenant, and these are your ambassadors here. You've now scaled. You've now scaled. So you could even decide to sell them a franchise model. Maybe they don't need to know where you get your clothes from, but you say, I'll provide you clothes at this price, and you sell it. Another way to create systems and structures, right? So these are some of the tools you can put in. Now, when you said you don't know, it didn't go right, you have to identify what didn't go right. Half of the problem in business is that you have to be able to pinpoint the true issue. Like I spoke to our artisan, our carpenter, our furniture maker, and I said to her, she's gripped with fear. It's so obvious. You have to identify what it was. Did you not have the staying power? Do you feel like maybe you don't want to be talking to too many people, trying to convince them? It could be many different things, but you have to identify it. And then when you identify it, you're able to solve for it. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for that wonderful session. Thank you very much, Mrs. Awoshika. Please don't be confused by the name Joyce. Please, I prefer to call you Mrs. Awoshika. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everyone. One of the points I picked from her is, who are you partnering with? Yes, and at this point, one of our critical partners and stakeholder within the whole Progressive Congress walked into this hall and joined us in this session. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and welcome Honorable Olusegun David Odumbaku, the chairman of Juju LCDA. You're most welcome. The chairman is accompanied by the secretary to the local government, Honorable Bello Olaide, the councillor, Honorable Lekon Peters, and the Chief of Staff, Honorable Adeoye Dakwa. The local government chairman will be giving a goodwill message before he takes his leave. Thank you.
Thank you for the warm reception. APC, other party members are welcomed. I know it's not an APC program alone, but we must blow our horns, innit? Yes, first of all, I want to thank the President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Bakajambo go over time. The National Chairman, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, and our very own, the National Youth Chairman, Honorable Dayo Israel, for putting up this fantastic program and laudable program as well. Why are we here? Why am I here? I joined politics to change the narrative. We all know that the matrix for determining youth in our country is a bit faulty. You can be 55 and still be regarded as a youth. Your chance to be a politician is as slim as a thread going to the eye of a needle. Oh, we stuck through it. For me to become a chairman, it took me up to 10 years to get here. And I can tell you, it is our time. At the local government, Ojoju LCDA, we have a program that's in tandem with the state program. Our AIDS and gender, health, education, youth, women, engagement and empowerment, and social infrastructure. I don't like to use the word youth empowerment. I would rather prefer youth engagement. And what do we need to do as youths? I was privileged to have traveled to Canada recently, and something occurred to me. That we Nigerian youths, while we are here, we are ill prepared. When we japa as well, we are still ill prepared. I met about 6 youths from my local government seeking refuge in a church, confused, not knowing what else to do. And it gladdens my heart to see youths today saying they are furniture maker, cleaning agent, manufacturer, and so much more. I can tell you for free, you're on the right path. In anywhere in the world, entrepreneurs and SMEs are the backbone of that economy. What are we missing? These are the kind of programs that is missing. Recently at the local government, we gave certificates to some of our youth that did some programs that we set up. Instrumentation in process engineering, industrial automation and processes. These are not degree courses. In 2024, what will stand you out? Your unique selling proposition is your skill acquisition. Your degree will play its part, but you have to add something else to that degree or diploma. We have vocational studies such as crane operators, masonry, offshore welding. These are jobs for life that you can do both here and even out of these shores if you so decide to do so. And I'm not taking anything away from the ICT gurus. With your certificates, gone are the days where a graduate of statistics, 1-1, can't use Excel. Yes, and is looking for a well-paid job, 6-figure funds, in a very competitive job market. So my advice to you, without taking much of your time, I was telling my youth that we're going to run a program that will assist them after the training for business support, something of this nature, and this came around. Please, a round of applause for the organizers. So my advice to you this today, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. So while you fail, you learn some vital lessons that will take you to the next level. Be bold, be focused. Documentation is important. Some people say this is Nigeria. No. Be the 1% that will take it serious. Certification is important. These are signs that you are serious and people can take you serious as well. No shortcuts. No overnight success. You heard the lady. Years. Nothing will happen overnight. Please leave the ones that want to rush to get there. Leave them alone. You will be their master in a decade's time. Thank you for listening and God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Please put your hands together once again for him. Thank you. Unjara, over to you, please.
Greatest Nigeria youth. Greatest progressive youth. All of you are politicians. All right. Just before we go to the very next session, I've received a couple of notes from most of you that you have been sitting for the past 5 hours. I need to stretch your legs and your back so your back will not break. So please stand up, have like 5 minutes break, go ease yourself. Our next speaker is on ground, he's ready. And I bet you this is going to be one of the sessions that you don't want to miss. He's fantastic, he's insightful, he's incredible. Take 5 minutes, go ease yourself, stretch your legs. That girl that you have been eyeing with your back eye, collect her number now. Because she might go. Yes. And if you're a girl, you're eyeing a guy, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. Stretch your legs. Please, everyone, you're encouraged to stand up. Please stand up. Please stretch your legs so that you can be active and you can participate better during the next training session. You have just 5 minutes. So by 2:30, we'll all be convened here and lunch would also be served there, or breakfast. 1:30, sorry. At 1:30, we'll convene back. Media, please help us with soft music. I want to dance. I want to perform.
I let the water touch my feet. Can't let these people get to me. You know I never drink. Mixing with that energy. I need my enemies a feast. I know they wanna find a priest. God they see in me. Hallelujah. Give me the walk, but it's heavy on my palms. I watch my walk, cause they heavy on your heart. You hit my line, but I'm talking to my mom. And when it's time, I'll be talking all the time.